Tonight, as you get ready to sleep, we'll learn how to make a clear request to the universe grounded in Buddhism. You'll see how intention, gratitude, and letting go work together. Rest while you discover a simple way to align what you want with a calm mind. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts just before sleep seem to linger in your mind, sometimes even influencing your dreams? This phenomenon is no coincidence and forms the foundation of a powerful Buddhist approach to manifestation. The time between wakefulness and sleep represents a unique opportunity to communicate with the universe and plant seeds of intention that can blossom into reality. In Buddhist philosophy, intention or katana is considered the driving force behind all actions and their consequences. The Buddha himself stated that intention is what shapes our karma, creating the conditions for future experiences. Unlike the simplified modern interpretations of manifestation that focus solely on material gain, the Buddhist understanding runs much deeper, examining how our conscious and subconscious intentions literally shape the world we experience. The pre-sleep state is particularly powerful because our brain waves naturally shift from the beta state of normal wakefulness to the alpha and then theta states. These relaxed brain states create a direct pathway to the subconscious mind, where our deepest beliefs about reality reside. Buddhist practitioners have recognized this gateway for thousands of years, using it as an opportunity to align their deepest intentions with universal forces. When we understand manifestation from a Buddhist perspective, we recognize that it isn't about forcing the universe to give us what we want. Rather, it's about harmonizing our intentions with the natural flow of reality. This requires developing awareness of our motivations. Are our desires coming from a place of greed, aversion, or delusion, the three poisons in Buddhist teaching? Or are they arising from wisdom, compassion, and generosity? The quality of our intention dramatically affects the quality of what manifests. The Buddhist concept of right intention, Samma Sankappa, from the Noble Eightfold Path becomes essential here. Right intention involves cultivating thoughts of renunciation, goodwill, and harmlessness. When our manifestation practices are grounded in these wholesome intentions, they create positive karma and beneficial outcomes not just for ourselves, but for all beings. Another critical aspect is understanding the Buddhist view of interdependence or dependent origination. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything arises due to countless causes and conditions. This means our manifestations don't simply appear because we wish for them. They emerge from a complex web of interconnected factors. By recognizing this, we can set intentions that work with these natural patterns rather than against them. The law of karma plays a central role in Buddhist manifestation. Often misunderstood as simple cause and effect, karma is better understood as intentional action that creates momentum. Every thought, word, and deed plants seeds that will eventually bear fruit. By consciously setting positive intentions before sleep, we're planting beneficial karmic seeds in the fertile ground of our subconscious. Mindfulness is another foundational element. In Buddhism, mindfulness means maintaining awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and environment in the present moment. Before sleep, mindfulness helps us observe the quality of our intentions without judgment. Are they wholesome or unwholesome? Will they lead to suffering or happiness? This awareness allows us to refine our intentions for greater alignment with our highest good. The Buddhist practice of visualization pairs powerfully with pre-sleep intention setting. Tibetan Buddhism in particular has developed sophisticated visualization techniques where practitioners imagine themselves embodying the qualities of enlightened beings. By visualizing not just the outcome we desire, but also the type of person we need to become to manifest that outcome, we create comprehensive transformation. Non-attachment represents perhaps the most counterintuitive aspect of Buddhist manifestation. While Western approaches often emphasize gripping tightly to our desires, Buddhism teaches that attachment actually blocks manifestation. By holding our intentions lightly, setting them clearly but releasing attachment to specific outcomes, we create space for the universe to respond in ways that might exceed our limited imagination. The concept of emptiness or sunyata offers profound insight into manifestation. Emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. Rather, it points to the absence of inherent independent existence in all phenomena. Everything is fluid, constantly changing and interconnected. This understanding liberates our manifestation practice from rigid thinking. If nothing is fixed, then transformation is always possible. The pre-sleep period also offers an opportunity to practice metta or loving-kindness meditation. By generating feelings of goodwill toward ourselves and others before setting intentions, we create an emotional environment conducive to positive manifestation. The Buddha taught that a mind filled with loving-kindness naturally attracts beneficial circumstances. It's important to recognize that Buddhist manifestation isn't focused solely on material gain. The highest aim is liberation from suffering and the cultivation of wisdom and compassion. When our manifestation practice is aligned with these spiritual goals, even our worldly desires become stepping stones toward enlightenment rather than distractions from it. Patience forms another key element in Buddhist manifestation. Unlike instant gratification approaches, Buddhism recognizes that meaningful changes often unfold gradually. By setting intentions before sleep consistently over time, we create momentum that eventually leads to manifestation. This patient persistence aligns with the Buddhist understanding that spiritual growth happens through steady practice rather than dramatic leaps. The Buddhist concept of right speech also applies to how we formulate our intentions. Speaking internally with clarity, truthfulness, kindness, and purpose helps ensure our manifestations are aligned with our highest good. The words we use to frame our intentions matter greatly, as they shape how our subconscious processes our desires. Many Buddhist practitioners find that dedicating the benefits of their manifestation practice to all beings creates powerful results. This dedication of merit transforms potentially self-centered desires into vehicles for universal benefit, expanding the scope and impact of our intentions. As you prepare for sleep tonight, consider bringing these Buddhist principles into your manifestation practice. Set aside a few moments to clarify your intentions, examine their quality, cultivate loving kindness, visualize positive outcomes, and then release attachment to specific results. This approach honors both the profound wisdom of Buddhist tradition and the natural rhythms of consciousness as we transition from wakefulness to sleep. By understanding these foundational Buddhist concepts of intention and manifestation, you can transform your pre-sleep routine from a mundane daily necessity into a powerful opportunity for conscious creation. This ancient wisdom, when applied with sincerity and understanding, can help align your personal desires with universal harmony, creating outcomes that benefit not just yourself, but all beings, creating a sacred pre-sleep environment for manifestation. The moments before we drift into sleep represent one of the most powerful times for communicating with the universe. During this transitional state, the analytical mind begins to quiet, allowing deeper access to the subconscious where manifestation takes root. Yet many people overlook the importance of the physical environment in enhancing this process. Creating a sacred sleep space isn't just about aesthetics, it's about establishing conditions that support your intentions at both subtle and obvious levels. In Buddhist practice, the concept of creating sacred space has been refined over thousands of years. Temples and meditation halls are carefully designed to induce states of calm awareness, and we can bring these same principles into our bedrooms to enhance our manifestation practice. The Buddha himself emphasized the importance of suitable environments for spiritual practice, noting that external conditions can either support or hinder internal states. The journey toward creating a sacred pre-sleep environment begins with decluttering. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes simplicity and the removal of distractions. A bedroom filled with random objects, work materials, or excessive stimulation sends mixed messages to your mind about the purpose of this space. Take time to mindfully remove items that don't support rest and spiritual practice. This doesn't mean your bedroom must be sparse. Rather, each item should be chosen with intention and awareness of its energy. Light plays a crucial role in signaling to both body and mind that it's time to transition. The harsh blue light from screens interferes with melatonin production and keeps the analytical mind engaged, precisely what we want to avoid before sleep manifestation work. Instead, consider warm, soft lighting sources like Himalayan salt lamps, beeswax candles, or amber bulbs. These gentle illuminations mimic firelight, which humans have associated with safety and rest for thousands of years. Sound creates another layer of your sacred environment. Many Buddhist practices incorporate sound as a way to transform consciousness. Consider introducing gentle sounds that induce calm awareness. The soft ring of a singing bowl, the gentle trickle of a small fountain, or recorded nature sounds can all help transition your mind from active thinking to receptive awareness. Alternatively, embrace the power of silence, which in our overloaded sensory world has become a rare and precious commodity. Scent provides one of the most direct pathways to the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. Traditional Buddhist temples often use incense not merely as offerings, but as a way to shift consciousness. For your sleep sanctuary, consider calming scents like lavender, sandalwood, or cedarwood. You might use essential oil diffusers, natural incense, avoiding synthetic varieties with harmful chemicals, or sachets of dried herbs. Each evening, the introduction of these scents can become a ritual that signals to your mind it's time to enter a different state of consciousness. The introduction of sacred objects can transform an ordinary bedroom into a space that supports spiritual practice. In Buddhist tradition, statues, images, or symbols serve as focal points for contemplation and reminders of spiritual qualities. Consider what represents your spiritual aspirations. Perhaps a small Buddha statue, a meaningful crystal, a written intention in beautiful calligraphy, or an image that evokes the feeling of your desired manifestation. Place this thoughtfully where you'll see it during your pre-sleep practice. Temperature also significantly impacts your ability to transition into the ideal state for manifestation. Most sleep experts recommend a slightly cool room, typically between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. This range not only supports quality sleep, but also creates a cozy environment that encourages the mind to slow down and turn inward. Consider your bedding as well. Natural materials like cotton, silk, or bamboo that feel good against your skin create subtle pleasure that helps release tension. Color psychology plays a subtle but important role in creating your sacred space. Buddhist temples often use colors intentionally, golds, reds, and blues that evoke specific states of consciousness. In your bedroom, consider colors that support your particular manifestation goals. Soft blues and greens promote tranquility, while warm golds and terracottas can evoke abundance. Whatever palette you choose, aim for colors that feel harmonious rather than stimulating. The arrangement of furniture according to principles similar to feng shui appears in some Buddhist traditions as well. Position your bed so you feel secure but not restricted. Many people find they sleep better and have clearer dreams when their head points north, aligning with the Earth's magnetic field. Ensure the space around your bed allows energy to flow freely. Crowded, chaotic spaces create crowded, chaotic minds. Developing a threshold ritual marks the boundary between ordinary awareness and sacred time. This might be as simple as lighting a candle, ringing a bell, or speaking a phrase that signals to your subconscious that manifestation work is beginning. Buddhist practitioners often use specific mudras, hand gestures, or mantras to mark transitions between different states of practice. Find what resonates for you as a consistent signal that you're entering sacred space and time. Electronic devices deserve special consideration when creating a sleep sanctuary. The electromagnetic fields they emit, the content they deliver, and their association with work and social stress make them particularly disruptive to sacred space. Ideally, remove all electronics from your sleep environment. If this isn't possible, at minimum establish a technology curfew, shutting down all screens at least 1 hour before your manifestation practice. Many Buddhist practitioners incorporate an altar or special shelf dedicated to their spiritual practice. This doesn't need to be elaborate. Even a small corner with a candle, a meaningful object, and perhaps a written intention can serve as a focal point for your manifestation work. The act of creating and maintaining this space becomes part of the practice itself, a physical manifestation of your commitment to spiritual growth. Natural elements bring vitality and connection to your space. Consider incorporating plants, fresh flowers, a small bowl of water, a special stone, or a feather, representations of earth, water, fire, air, and space. These elements connect your personal practice to the larger rhythms of nature, an important aspect of Buddhist cosmology. Textiles affect our experience at both conscious and unconscious levels. Choose bedding, pillows, and any fabric elements with awareness of how they feel against your skin and the associations they evoke. Natural fibers generally support better sleep quality and carry fewer chemical residues that might disrupt your energy. The creation of sacred space isn't a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. Buddhist temples are maintained through regular cleaning, offerings, and attention. Similarly, your sleep sanctuary requires consistent care to maintain its supportive energy. Develop simple daily rituals to refresh the space, straightening your bed mindfully, clearing any clutter, refreshing altar items or intentions. By thoughtfully creating a sleep environment that supports manifestation, you're essentially building a bridge between the material and spiritual worlds. This sacred space becomes a cocoon where transformation can occur, where your conscious intentions can sink deeply into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. The care you invest in creating this environment reflects and reinforces your commitment to spiritual practice. Remember that creating sacred space is ultimately about supporting inner work. The external environment serves the internal practice. As you refine your sleep sanctuary over time, you may find it becomes not just a place for manifestation work, but a refuge that nourishes your spirit each time you enter it. This is the true meaning of sacred space. Not just a beautiful room, but a place where transformation becomes possible. Now that you've prepared a proper sacred environment for your pre-sleep manifestation practice, it's time to turn your attention inward. The external space sets the stage, but the internal landscape of your mind determines the quality and effectiveness of your manifestation work. This is where mindfulness becomes your most valuable tool. The power of mindfulness in clarifying desires before manifestation lies at the heart of effective Buddhist practice. Mindfulness, known as sati in Pali, represents more than just paying attention. It's a quality of clear, non-judgmental awareness that allows you to see things as they truly are. When applied to our desires and intentions, mindfulness acts like a purifying filter, helping distinguish between authentic needs and conditioned wants. Most people approach manifestation with a jumble of desires, many of which aren't actually their own. We absorb countless messages from family, media, culture, and society about what we should want or who we should be. Without mindfulness, we risk directing our powerful manifestation energy toward goals that won't bring genuine fulfillment. The Buddha recognized this predicament 2,500 years ago when he taught that many of our desires arise from moha, delusion, rather than wisdom. Before communicating your desires to the universe during that precious pre-sleep period, take time to sit with each desire in mindful awareness. Ask yourself, is this truly my desire, or have I adopted it from somewhere else? Does this desire align with my deepest values? Will the fulfillment of this desire lead to lasting contentment or merely temporary pleasure? These questions, approached with honest mindfulness, begin to clarify your authentic path. The Buddha taught that desires generally fall into two categories, those that lead towards suffering and those that lead toward liberation. Desires rooted in craving, aversion, or delusion ultimately create suffering even if temporarily satisfied. Conversely, desires aligned with generosity, compassion, and wisdom lead toward greater freedom and well-being. Mindfulness helps us recognize which category our desires belong to before we empower them through manifestation practices. Try this simple mindfulness exercise before formulating your pre-sleep intentions. Bring a desire to mind and notice the physical sensations that arise in your body. Does this desire create tension or relaxation? Notice the emotions connected to this desire. Does it generate feelings of peace, joy, and openness? Or anxiety, craving, and contraction? Observe the thoughts that cluster around this desire. Are they mostly positive and generous, or negative and fear-based? These bodily sensations, emotions, and thought patterns provide valuable information about the true nature of your desires. Mindfulness also reveals the impermanent nature of desires themselves. Watch how desires arise, change, and dissolve in your awareness. Some desires that seemed urgent last month might seem irrelevant today. By observing this constant flux, you develop natural wisdom about which desires deserve your manifestation energy and which are merely passing whims. The Buddha emphasized that understanding the impermanent nature of all phenomena, including our desires, leads to greater freedom and clarity. Another powerful mindfulness approach involves examining the underlying needs behind your desires. For example, the desire for a specific car might actually reflect a deeper need for freedom, status, or safety. The desire for a romantic partner might mask a more fundamental need for connection, validation, or security. By mindfully identifying these underlying needs, you can formulate manifestation intentions that address the core need rather than just its surface expression. This creates more flexibility in how the universe can respond to your intention. When practiced regularly, mindfulness naturally leads to greater self-knowledge. You begin to recognize your habitual patterns, the recurring desires, fears, and attachments that shape your experience. This self-awareness becomes invaluable in manifestation work because it helps you avoid unconsciously recreating the same situations over and over. The Buddha taught that ignorance, avidya, about our own patterns keeps us trapped in cycles of suffering. Mindfulness illuminates these patterns, allowing us to make new choices. Many people find that mindfulness practice naturally refines their desires over time. What once seemed critically important may fall away as you recognize its hollow nature. New desires aligned with your authentic path and the benefit of all beings may emerge. This refinement process doesn't mean suppressing or judging your desires. Rather, it's about seeing them clearly and allowing wisdom to naturally guide you toward those worth manifesting. The quality of attention you bring to your manifestation practice matters tremendously. Scattered, anxious, or grasping attention creates similarly scattered results. Mindfulness trains your attention to become steady, clear, and receptive, the ideal state for effective manifestation. The Buddha compared the untrained mind to muddy water that distorts everything we see. Through mindfulness, the mud settles and clarity emerges. As you approach sleep, this mindful clarity becomes especially powerful. The transition from wakefulness to sleep represents a journey from the conscious to the subconscious mind. With mindfulness, you can remain aware during this transition, consciously planting your clarified intentions in the fertile soil of the subconscious. Without mindfulness, this opportunity passes by unnoticed, and random thoughts or worries become the seeds planted in your subconscious. The Buddha taught that properly directed attention is the most transformative force available to us. By bringing mindful awareness to your desires before sleep, you harness this force for manifestation. Your intentions become clear, authentic, and aligned with your highest good, greatly increasing their manifestation potential. This clarity doesn't require hours of practice. Even 5 minutes of mindful reflection before sleep can significantly transform your manifestation results. Remember that mindfulness itself is a practice, not a perfect state to achieve. Some nights your mind may be clearer than others. Approach this variation with gentle acceptance rather than judgment. The Buddha emphasized meeting our experience with kindness, regardless of whether it matches our expectations. This self-compassion creates a conducive environment for effective manifestation. With your sacred space prepared and your desires clarified through mindfulness, you're now ready to explore specific Buddhist meditation techniques that can be used for pre-sleep manifestation. These time-tested practices provide structured approaches to communicating your intentions to the universe during that powerful threshold between wakefulness and sleep. Buddhist meditation techniques for pre-sleep manifestation offer a treasure trove of practices developed and refined over thousands of years. These aren't quick-fix visualization exercises, but comprehensive approaches that engage your entire being, body, speech, and mind to create powerful manifestation potential. While there are hundreds of meditation techniques in the Buddhist tradition, several are particularly well suited for pre-sleep manifestation work. Metta meditation, or loving-kindness practice, creates an ideal foundation for manifestation by establishing a positive emotional state. Begin by sitting comfortably in your bed and bringing awareness to your heart center. Generate feelings of warmth and goodwill toward yourself, silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I live with ease." Once this feeling of loving kindness toward yourself is established, gradually extend it outward to loved ones, neutral people, difficult people, and eventually all beings everywhere. This might seem unrelated to manifesting specific desires, but it serves a crucial purpose. The Buddha taught that a mind filled with loving kindness becomes naturally receptive to positive experiences. By establishing this state before focusing on your specific intentions, you create fertile ground for manifestation. Additionally, loving kindness dissolves the subtle tensions and resistances that often block manifestation energy. Tonglen, or sending and taking meditation, though primarily a compassion practice, can be powerfully adapted for manifestation work. In traditional Tonglen, you visualize breathing in the suffering of others and breathing out relief and happiness to them. For manifestation purposes, you can modify this by breathing in any obstacles to your manifestation and breathing out the conditions that support it. For example, if you're manifesting a new career opportunity, breathe in any fears, doubts, or limiting beliefs about your professional capabilities. As you exhale, send out confidence, clarity, and openness to new possibilities. This practice acknowledges and transforms the internal obstacles to your manifestation rather than ignoring or suppressing them. Visualization combined with conscious breathing creates another powerful pre-sleep practice. Buddhist traditions, particularly Vajrayana Buddhism, have developed sophisticated visualization techniques over centuries. To adapt these for manifestation, begin with several minutes of calm, focused breathing to stabilize your mind. Then create a clear mental image of your desire already fulfilled. The key is to engage all your senses, see it, hear it, feel it, even smell and taste it if relevant. Unlike superficial positive thinking, Buddhist visualization practices emphasize becoming fully present with the energetic reality of what you're creating. Notice how your body feels as you visualize your manifestation. Allow emotions of gratitude and joy to arise naturally. Breathe these positive feelings through your entire body, imagining each cell being infused with the energy of your manifestation. Samatha meditation, which cultivates calm abiding and one-pointed concentration, provides essential mental stability for effective manifestation. If your mind is scattered, your manifestation energy will be equally scattered. Before sleep, spend 5 to 10 minutes developing concentration by focusing on a single object, your breath, a candle flame, or a simple mental image. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your chosen object without judgment. The Buddha compared concentration meditation to filling a bowl with water one drop at a time. Eventually, the bowl fills to overflowing. Similarly, by developing concentration before sleep night after night, you build a reservoir of mental stability that makes your manifestation work increasingly powerful. This steady mind becomes capable of holding your intentions firmly, without the usual fluctuations of doubt and impatience. Analytical meditation on the Four Noble Truths offers a framework for formulating wise manifestations. Before sleep, examine your desire in light of these truths. Is there suffering or dissatisfaction driving this desire? What is the origin of this suffering? Is there a way to address this suffering that leads to greater peace rather than creating new problems? What practical path can lead to this resolution? This contemplative approach helps ensure your manifestations address real needs rather than temporary cravings. The Buddha taught that desires examined through the lens of the Four Noble Truths naturally become more skillful and beneficial. Your pre-sleep intentions then align with genuine well-being rather than fleeting pleasure-seeking. Vipassana or insight meditation techniques help examine the motivations behind your desires. As you prepare for sleep, observe the thoughts, emotions, and sensations associated with your desires without judgment or identification. Notice if fear, insecurity, or comparison with others drives your desires. Also notice desires arising from generosity, compassion, or authentic self-expression. This non-reactive observation creates space between you and your desires, allowing wisdom to emerge naturally. You begin to recognize which desires deserve your manifestation energy and which might be released. The Buddha emphasized that this kind of clear seeing leads to naturally wise choices without forced suppression of desires. Body scan meditation prepares both body and mind for effective manifestation. Lying comfortably in bed, systematically bring awareness to each part of your body from your toes to the top of your head, consciously relaxing each area. This practice grounds your awareness in your physical form while releasing tension that might block manifestation energy. The Buddha often emphasized the importance of awareness of the body as a foundation for all spiritual work. As you complete your body scan, maintain this relaxed physical awareness while introducing your manifestation intention. This creates a whole body manifestation, rather than a merely mental exercise. Many practitioners report stronger results when their manifestation engages the body's intelligence, rather than remaining abstract thought. With these Buddhist meditation techniques as your foundation, pre-sleep becomes a powerful time for planting the seeds of manifestation in universal consciousness. The key is consistency, practicing regularly even when results aren't immediately apparent. The Buddha taught that all accomplishments arise from patient, persistent practice. Your manifestation abilities will develop gradually through consistent application of these ancient techniques. Now that you've explored various Buddhist meditation techniques for pre-sleep manifestation, it's important to consider the ethical framework that guides these practices. The Buddha didn't just teach meditation techniques in isolation, he embedded them within a comprehensive path that ensures our manifestations bring genuine benefit rather than unintended consequences. This ethical framework is the Noble Eightfold Path, and aligning your manifestation practices with these principles amplifies their power while ensuring they contribute to lasting happiness. The Noble Eightfold Path consists of 8 interconnected aspects that together form a complete approach to living. When applied to manifestation practices, this path transforms what might otherwise be spiritual materialism into a genuine practice of awakening. Let's examine how each aspect of the path relates to your pre-sleep manifestation practice. Right understanding, the first aspect of the path, involves seeing things as they truly are. When applied to manifestation, this means recognizing the true nature of desires and their consequences. Before formulating your pre-sleep intentions, examine them through the lens of cause and effect. Will manifesting this desire create positive karma for yourself and others? Does this desire arise from wisdom or from delusion? Understanding the karmic implications of what you're asking for ensures your manifestations contribute to genuine well-being rather than temporary pleasure followed by suffering. Right intention follows naturally from right understanding. The Buddha taught that our intentions fall into 3 categories: those based on renunciation, letting go, goodwill, and harmlessness. Before sleep, examine the intentions behind your manifestation desires. Are they motivated by grasping and attachment, or by generosity and letting go? Do they arise from goodwill toward yourself and others, or from ill will and comparison? Are your intentions harmless to all beings, or might their fulfillment cause suffering? Purifying your intentions before sleep creates powerful manifestation energy aligned with universal harmony. Right speech may seem unrelated to silent manifestation work, but it profoundly affects your results. The Buddha emphasized that our speech should be truthful, kind, helpful, and timely. When formulating your manifestation statements before sleep, apply these same qualities. Are your affirmations truthful, or do they contain exaggerations or denials of reality? Are they kind to yourself and others? Do they truly help your situation rather than avoiding necessary growth? Is this the right time in your life for this particular manifestation? Crafting your internal manifestation language with these principles creates clear communication with the universal consciousness. Right action extends the ethical framework to your behavior. Manifestation isn't just about what you think before sleep, it's about how you act during your waking hours. The Buddha taught that actions should avoid harming living beings, taking what isn't freely given, and sexual misconduct. Examine whether the manifestations you're requesting align with ethical action. If you're manifesting a new relationship, are you doing so with respect for all involved? If manifesting material abundance, are you committed to ethical means of acquiring it? Alignment between your nighttime intentions and daytime actions creates powerful manifestation coherence. Right livelihood specifically concerns how we earn our living. If you're using manifestation to attract career opportunities or financial abundance, this aspect of the path becomes particularly relevant. The Buddha advised avoiding livelihoods that harm others, such as those involving weapons, intoxicants, poison, killing beings, or dishonesty. Before sleep, consider whether what you're manifesting contributes to a world you actually want to live in. Aligning your career manifestations with right livelihood ensures that your material support comes from sources that also support your spiritual well-being. Right effort addresses how we apply energy to our practice. The Buddha described 4 aspects of right effort: preventing unwholesome states from arising, abandoning unwholesome states that have already arisen, cultivating wholesome states, and maintaining wholesome states. In manifestation practice, this translates to diligently preventing negative thinking patterns, releasing doubts and fears when they arise, cultivating positive visualization, and maintaining consistent practice. The pre-sleep period is ideal for this kind of energy management, as you can intentionally release the day's negativity and cultivate the positive mental states that support manifestation. Right mindfulness, which we've already explored in depth, involves maintaining awareness of body, feelings, mind states, and mental objects. In manifestation practice, this means staying fully present with all aspects of your experience as you set intentions. Notice the physical sensations in your body as you contemplate your desires. Observe the emotions that arise without judgment. Watch the patterns of your thinking. This comprehensive awareness prevents manifestation practice from becoming merely intellectual or fantasy-based, grounding it in your lived experience. Right concentration completes the path, and it's particularly relevant for pre-sleep manifestation. The Buddha taught techniques for developing one-pointed concentration and the absorptive states called jhanas. As you prepare for sleep, single-pointed focus on your intention creates a powerful energetic imprint on universal consciousness. Rather than flitting between multiple desires or letting your mind wander, develop the ability to hold your manifestation with steady, calm attention. This focused energy, combined with the relaxed state between wakefulness and sleep, creates optimal conditions for communicating with the universe. When your manifestation practice is aligned with all 8 aspects of the path, it becomes more than just a technique for getting what you want. It becomes a vehicle for spiritual growth. Your desires naturally refine as you apply these principles, and what you manifest contributes to genuine happiness rather than temporary pleasure followed by disappointment. The Buddha taught the Eightfold Path as the middle way between indulgence and asceticism, and this balanced approach applies perfectly to manifestation work. Many practitioners find that aligning their manifestations with the Eightfold Path creates results that exceed their initial expectations. Rather than merely receiving the specific outcome requested, they often experience a transformation of their entire relationship to desire and fulfillment. The universe responds not just to the content of their request, but to the ethical clarity and wisdom with which it's offered. As you continue developing your pre-sleep manifestation practice, regularly review how it aligns with each aspect of the Eightfold Path. This isn't about judging yourself, but about gradually refining your approach. The Buddha taught that the path is gradual, with each step supporting the others. Similarly, your alignment with these principles will develop over time, creating increasingly powerful and beneficial manifestation experiences. Another essential component that greatly enhances the effectiveness of Buddhist manifestation practices is gratitude. While aligning with the Eightfold Path creates ethical clarity, cultivating gratitude creates the emotional environment where manifestation flourishes. These two approaches work hand in hand, with ethical alignment guiding the content of your manifestations and gratitude amplifying their power. Gratitude isn't just a pleasant sentiment, it's a transformative practice that directly impacts your ability to manifest. In Buddhist terms, gratitude functions as a powerful antidote to several hindrances that block manifestation: discontent, craving, comparison, and the perception of lack. The Buddha recognized that our baseline perception of reality dramatically influences what we experience, and gratitude shifts that perception from scarcity to abundance. Before formulating your pre-sleep intentions, take a few moments to generate genuine gratitude for what already exists in your life. This isn't toxic positivity or denying genuine challenges, but rather a conscious recognition of the countless conditions that support your existence. Consider the fact that you have a bed to sleep in, air to breathe, and a mind capable of engaging with these teachings. Acknowledge the people who have supported you, the teachers who have shared wisdom, and your own efforts on the path. This gratitude practice does something remarkable. It shifts your consciousness from a state of wanting to a state of having. Most manifestation efforts fail because they're rooted in a perception of lack, which only reinforces that lack. Gratitude interrupts this pattern by highlighting the abundance that already exists, creating a mental environment where further abundance naturally flows. The Buddha taught that the mind becomes what it frequently dwells upon, and a mind dwelling in gratitude naturally attracts experiences that evoke more gratitude. In Buddhist practice, gratitude connects closely with mudita, often translated as sympathetic joy or appreciative joy. This is the ability to feel genuine happiness about positive circumstances, whether they're happening to you or to others. Cultivating mudita before sleep expands your capacity to recognize and receive good fortune. Before focusing on what you want to manifest, take time to appreciate good things happening in the lives of friends, family, and even strangers. This practice dissolves the subtle jealousy and comparison that often block manifestation. Gratitude also serves as a powerful reality check that prevents manifestation practice from becoming merely wishful thinking. By acknowledging what's already present and working well in your life, you ground yourself in truth rather than fantasy. The Buddha emphasized the importance of seeing things as they actually are, and gratitude helps maintain this clear perception. Your manifestation then emerges from a foundation of reality rather than escapism. For particularly challenging manifestations that seem distant or difficult, gratitude becomes even more crucial. Before sleep, practice being grateful for small signs of progress, for the opportunity to work toward your goal, and for the growth that comes through the process. This gratitude in advance creates an energetic bridge between your current reality and your desired outcome, making the manifestation feel more accessible to your subconscious mind. The neurological effects of gratitude support manifestation in several ways. Research shows that gratitude practice activates the brain's reward pathways and increases production of dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters associated with feelings of well-being. This positive brain state makes you more receptive to opportunities and more resilient in the face of obstacles. The Buddha didn't use this scientific terminology, but he clearly understood that positive mind states create positive outcomes. Many Buddhist practitioners incorporate formal gratitude meditation before sleep. Sitting comfortably, bring to mind 5 to 10 specific things you're grateful for today. They can be significant or seemingly minor, from good health to the taste of your evening tea. For each item, pause to feel the gratitude in your body, noticing where and how you experience it physically. This embodied gratitude creates a more powerful imprint than merely thinking about things you appreciate. Gratitude also serves as protection against attachment to specific outcomes in your manifestation practice. When you're genuinely grateful for what already exists, you can hold your desires lightly rather than grasping at them desperately. This non-attachment, as we've discussed, paradoxically increases your manifestation power. The Buddha taught that clinging creates suffering, while appreciative awareness creates freedom. From this freedom, you can set intentions that aren't burdened by the anxiety of need. The practice of dedicating merit, common in many Buddhist traditions, combines gratitude with generosity to amplify manifestation. After setting your pre-sleep intentions, mentally offer the positive energy of your practice for the benefit of all beings. This might seem counterintuitive. Surely keeping the energy focused on your specific desire would be more effective? Yet practitioners consistently report that this expansion of focus from individual to universal benefit creates more powerful results. It's as if the universe responds more generously when we ourselves are thinking generously. Gratitude practice becomes particularly important when facing obstacles or delays in manifestation. Instead of focusing on what hasn't appeared yet, redirect your attention to appreciating what has already come. This maintains the positive emotional state necessary for continued manifestation, while preventing frustration from creating energetic blocks. The Buddha encouraged his followers to find joy in the present moment, rather than postponing happiness until conditions are perfect. Over time, consistent gratitude practice transforms your entire relationship with manifestation. Rather than approaching the universe as a cosmic vending machine that might or might not deliver what you want, you begin to perceive it as an abundant partner in co-creation. Your pre-sleep requests shift from demands born of perceived lack to appreciative invitations born of recognized plenty. This subtle shift creates a completely different energetic signature that the universe naturally responds to with greater generosity. As you continue developing your pre-sleep manifestation practice, consider making gratitude your starting point each night. Before any specific visualization or intention setting, establish a foundation of genuine appreciation. This emotional preparation, combined with the ethical clarity of the Eightfold Path, creates optimal conditions for communicating with universal consciousness during the powerful transition from wakefulness to sleep. With gratitude establishing a positive foundation for your manifestation practice, it's time to address specific obstacles that might be blocking your progress. Even with the best intentions and a grateful heart, you may find that certain mental states repeatedly interfere with your pre-sleep manifestation efforts. The Buddha identified these common obstacles with remarkable psychological insight, calling them the 5 hindrances or Panca Nivaranani. Understanding and working with these hindrances transforms them from stubborn blocks into opportunities for deeper practice. The first hindrance is sensory desire or kamachanda, which manifests as craving for pleasant sensory experiences. Before sleep, this might appear as fantasies about food, sex, entertainment, or other pleasures that distract you from your manifestation focus. It's important to recognize that this hindrance isn't about denying pleasure itself, but about addressing the restless craving for stimulation that prevents deeper concentration. When sensory desires arise during your pre-sleep practice, acknowledge them without judgment. Notice how these cravings feel in your body, perhaps as a slight tension or leaning forward sensation. Rather than fighting against these desires, expand your awareness to include both the desire and the knowing of the desire. The Buddha taught a specific antidote for this hindrance: contemplating the impermanent and ultimately unsatisfying nature of sensory pleasures. Remind yourself that while these experiences may be momentarily pleasant, they don't provide the lasting happiness you're seeking through your spiritual practice. This contemplation helps relax the grip of craving, allowing your mind to settle into the present moment. The second hindrance is ill will or vyapada, which includes anger, resentment, irritation, and all forms of aversion. This hindrance is particularly disruptive to manifestation practice because it creates a contracted, negative energy that repels rather than attracts. Before sleep, you might notice irritation about something that happened during the day, resentment towards someone who wronged you, or even subtle annoyance with yourself for not practicing correctly. When you notice ill will arising, the Buddha recommended cultivating its direct opposite, loving kindness or metta. Take a few moments to generate genuine goodwill, first toward yourself, then toward anyone you're feeling negative about. This doesn't mean suppressing or denying your feelings, but rather adding the balancing quality of kindness alongside them. This shift in emotional tone creates a more conducive inner environment for manifestation. The third hindrance is sloth and torpor or thinamita, experienced as mental dullness, heaviness, or sleepiness beyond normal tiredness. While preparing for sleep naturally involves relaxation, this hindrance refers to a cloudy, unfocused mental state that prevents clear, intention setting. You might notice your mind becoming foggy, your attention drifting, or an inability to hold your manifestation visualization clearly. The Buddha suggested several practical antidotes: changing your posture, splashing cool water on your face, visualizing a bright light, or focusing attention on your breath with more deliberate clarity. Since you're actually preparing for sleep, some of these may be counterproductive, but briefly refreshing yourself before final relaxation can help ensure your manifestation practice happens with clarity rather than dullness. The fourth hindrance is restlessness and worry, or udhaka kukucha, experienced as an agitated, scattered mind that jumps from thought to thought or fixates on worries about past or future. This is perhaps the most common hindrance in our modern, overstimulated world. During pre-sleep manifestation, you might notice your mind racing through tomorrow's to-do list, replaying conversations, or bouncing between random thoughts instead of focusing on your intention. The Buddha recommended breath awareness as a primary antidote. Simply bringing full attention to the natural rhythm of your breathing has a calming effect on the nervous system. Additionally, a brief period of journaling before bed can help download worries and planning thoughts, clearing mental space for your manifestation practice. The fifth hindrance is doubt or vikicitcha, which manifests as uncertainty about yourself, the practice, or the possibility of manifestation. You might find yourself thinking, "This probably won't work. I'm not doing this right," or "manifestation isn't real." This skeptical voice can completely undermine your practice if not addressed skillfully. The Buddha taught that doubt is best overcome through knowledge and direct experience. Remind yourself of past experiences when your intentions did manifest, even in small ways. Review your understanding of how manifestation works according to Buddhist principles. Remember that this practice has been tested and refined over thousands of years. Sometimes, simply recognizing doubt as a transient mental state rather than an accurate assessment of reality is enough to continue your practice despite its presence. What makes the Buddha's teaching on the 5 hindrances so practical is the recognition that these obstacles are normal aspects of the human mind, not signs of failure. When they arise during your pre-sleep manifestation practice, treat them as opportunities to develop greater self-understanding rather than as problems. Each time you work skillfully with a hindrance, you're not just clearing the way for your current manifestation, you're developing mental skills that will serve all future manifestations. It's also worth noting that these hindrances often appear more prominently just as you're making progress in your practice. The mind's habitual patterns resist change, even positive change. By expecting and preparing for these hindrances, you remove their power to discourage you. The Buddha taught that simply recognizing a hindrance when it appears is halfway to overcoming it. This mindful recognition, combined with applying the appropriate antidote, creates the clear mental space necessary for powerful manifestation. As you continue your pre-sleep practice, you may notice patterns in which hindrances appear most frequently for you. Some people struggle primarily with dullness, others with restlessness, and still others with doubt. This self-knowledge allows you to prepare specific antidotes in advance, streamlining your practice. Over time, working with the hindrances becomes less about battling obstacles and more about skillfully directing your mental energy toward clarity and focus, the ideal state for communicating your intentions to the universe. Now that you understand how to work with mental obstacles, let's explore how to actively enhance your manifestation practice using the power of sacred sound. Throughout Buddhist traditions, sound has been recognized as a direct pathway to altered states of consciousness. Incorporating mantras and dharani into your pre-sleep manifestation ritual adds a powerful dimension that bypasses the analytical mind and communicates directly with universal energies. Mantras are sacred sound formulas, typically in Sanskrit or other ancient languages, that create specific vibrational patterns in your consciousness. The word mantra itself comes from the Sanskrit roots manes, mind, and tre, tool or instrument, suggesting that these are tools for the mind. Unlike affirmations in your native language that engage the thinking mind, mantras work primarily through their sound vibration, regardless of whether you understand their literal meaning. This makes them especially effective during the pre-sleep period, when you're transitioning from conscious to subconscious awareness. Perhaps the most universally known Buddhist mantra is Om Mani Padme Hum, associated with Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion. This 6-syllable mantra contains the essence of the entire Dharma, according to Tibetan Buddhist tradition. For manifestation purposes, it helps open the heart and align your intentions with compassionate awareness. The deep resonance of the Om and the rhythmic flow of the syllables naturally calm the nervous system while elevating your vibrational state, ideal conditions for effective manifestation. Dharanis are longer mantric recitations, sometimes described as magical formulas that contain the essence of specific teachings or the energy of particular enlightened beings. While mantras are typically short and repeated many times, dharanis are often longer and may be recited fewer times. They function as a kind of spiritual algorithm, creating specific effects in consciousness through their precise combination of sounds. For pre-sleep manifestation, dharanis associated with abundance, healing, or wish fulfillment may be particularly helpful. The physiological effects of mantra recitation support manifestation in several ways. Research shows that rhythmic chanting synchronizes brainwaves, induces the relaxation response, and can shift your brainwave state from beta, normal waking consciousness, to alpha, relaxed awareness, and even theta, the hypnagogic state between waking and sleeping. This theta state is precisely the condition where your subconscious mind is most receptive to new programming, making it ideal for manifestation work. To incorporate mantras into your pre-sleep ritual, begin with several deep, relaxing breaths to center yourself. Then choose a mantra that resonates with your specific manifestation intention. For attracting abundance, Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Swaha honors the energy of Lakshmi, associated with prosperity in Buddhist and Hindu traditions. For healing, Om Tare Tutare Ture Swaha invokes the energy of green Tara. For removing obstacles, Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha connects with the remover of obstacles. If you are unsure which specific mantra to use, the universal Om Mani Padme Hum aligns any manifestation with compassionate awareness. Begin by reciting the mantra aloud, feeling the vibration in your body. After several minutes, transition to a whispered recitation, which helps internalize the energy. Finally, continue with mental recitation as you drift towards sleep. This progression from external to internal sound creates a seamless bridge between conscious intention and subconscious integration. The Buddha taught that proper use of sacred sound creates an energetic container that both protects and empowers your spiritual practice. Many practitioners find it helpful to use mala beads, Buddha's prayer beads, during their mantra recitation. A traditional mala has 108 beads, a sacred number in Buddhist cosmology. Passing each bead through your fingers as you recite creates a physical anchor for your practice and helps maintain focus when the mind begins to drift. As sleep approaches, you can simply let the mala rest in your hand while continuing mental recitation. Sound vibration affects not only your mental state but also your energetic body. In Buddhist tantric practice, mantras are understood to purify and activate the subtle energy channels, nadis, and centers, chakras. This energetic clearing removes blockages that might otherwise prevent your manifestation from taking form. Each syllable of a mantra is considered to have specific effects on different energy centers, creating a comprehensive retuning of your subtle anatomy. While you don't need to understand these technical aspects to benefit from mantra practice, it helps explain why sacred sound creates effects that go beyond what could be achieved through ordinary language. Buddhist tradition suggests that certain mantras invoke the specific energies of various Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, who can then assist with different types of manifestation. This can be understood either literally as calling upon enlightened beings for assistance, or metaphorically as activating those same enlightened qualities within your own consciousness. Either interpretation produces similar results. Your manifestation becomes supported by energies beyond your ordinary ego-based awareness. The rhythm and repetition of mantra practice also helps overcome the critical, doubting mind that often sabotages manifestation efforts. By occupying the verbal centers of the brain with sacred sound, you create space for deeper, non-verbal aspects of consciousness to engage with your manifestation intention. This bypassing of the analytical mind is particularly useful for those who struggle with overthinking or skepticism about manifestation processes. For maximum benefit, consider recording yourself reciting your chosen mantra at a slow, steady pace. You can then play this recording at low volume as you fall asleep, allowing the sacred sounds to continue working even as your conscious mind releases into sleep. Many practitioners report that this technique not only enhances manifestation, but also improves sleep quality and increases the likelihood of meaningful dreams related to their intention. Remember that mantras gain power through consistent use. Rather than frequently changing mantras based on momentary preferences, choose one that aligns with your current manifestation priority and work with it for at least 21 days. The Buddha taught that spiritual practices require consistent effort over time to bear fruit. This commitment to a specific mantra creates a cumulative effect that goes beyond what could be achieved through casual or inconsistent practice. While traditional mantras in Sanskrit and other ancient languages carry special potency due to their long history of use, you can also create personal sacred sound formulas in your native language if that feels more accessible. The key is choosing words that evoke the feeling of your manifestation already accomplished and repeating them with focused intention and devotion. This creates a bridge between traditional practice and personal meaning that can be especially effective for contemporary practitioners. As you deepen your practice with mantras, it becomes essential to consider the ethical dimension of manifestation. The Buddha's teachings on karma provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the full implications of our manifestation desires. Far from the simplified cosmic vending machine model that sometimes appears in popular culture, Buddha's perspectives on karma remind us that our intentions create ripples that extend far beyond our immediate experience. Karma, which literally means action or deed in Sanskrit, refers to the universal principle of cause and effect as it applies to human behavior. The Buddha taught that every intentional action creates consequences that eventually return to the person who initiated the action. This isn't about cosmic punishment or reward, but rather about understanding the natural pattern of how energy moves through consciousness and experience. When applied to manifestation practices, karma reminds us that what we ask for before sleep doesn't exist in isolation. Every desire we seek to manifest creates consequences, not only for ourselves but for countless other beings. This interconnected understanding encourages us to examine our manifestation intentions from multiple perspectives. How might the fulfillment of this desire affect my family, my community, the environment, or beings I'll never meet? Does this manifestation create benefit beyond my personal satisfaction? The Buddha identified 3 primary roots of unwholesome karma: greed, lobha, hatred, dosa, and delusion, moha. These 3 poisons create negative karmic consequences, even when our manifestations appear successful on the surface. For example, manifesting wealth through means that harm others or deplete natural resources might bring temporary pleasure, but ultimately leads to suffering for yourself and others. Similarly, manifesting a relationship based on attachment and possessiveness might initially seem fulfilling, but eventually creates suffering through its inherent instability. Conversely, manifestations rooted in the opposites of the 3 poisons, generosity, loving-kindness, and wisdom, create positive karmic momentum that benefits all involved. When you manifest from these wholesome roots, you create not only the specific outcome you desire, but also a wave of positive conditions that continues to support your well-being and spiritual growth. A practical way to assess the karmic quality of your pre-sleep intentions is to notice how they make you feel at a subtle level. Wholesome intentions typically create feelings of openness, lightness, and peace, while unwholesome intentions often generate subtle tension, contraction, or agitation. Your body wisdom recognizes the karmic quality of your intentions before your thinking mind does. By tuning into these subtle physical and emotional cues, you can refine your manifestations to align with positive karma. The Buddha also taught that karma operates across multiple lifetimes, which adds another dimension to ethical manifestation. From this perspective, the intentions we plant through manifestation practice influence not only our current life, but potentially many future lives as well. This long-term view naturally encourages us to think beyond immediate gratification and consider the lasting impact of what we're creating through our intentions. Many Buddhist practitioners use the principle of karmic ethics to transform potentially self-centered desires into intentions that benefit the greater good. For example, instead of simply manifesting personal wealth, you might intend to manifest abundance that enables you to be more generous and supportive to others. Instead of manifesting a perfect romantic partner solely for your happiness, you might intend to manifest a relationship that helps both people grow spiritually and serve others more effectively. This ethical refinement doesn't mean denying your desires or only manifesting things for others. The Buddha taught a middle way that honors both individual and collective well-being. The key question becomes, how can this desire, if fulfilled, create the greatest benefit for all involved? This question typically leads to manifestations that are both personally fulfilling and karmically positive. It's also important to recognize that karma isn't just created through special manifestation rituals before sleep. Every thought, word, and action throughout your day contributes to what you're manifesting. The Buddha emphasized that our habitual patterns of thinking and behaving create the template for our experience. Your pre-sleep manifestation practice works best when it's consistent with how you live during waking hours. This integrity between intention and action creates powerful karmic momentum toward your desired manifestations. When working with karmic principles, patience becomes essential. While some manifestations may appear quickly, others require time for the necessary conditions to align. The Buddha compared karma to seeds that require the right conditions to sprout. Some seeds germinate quickly, while others may take seasons or even years. Understanding this natural timing helps prevent the frustration that can arise when manifestations don't appear on our preferred schedule. The Buddhist understanding of karma also highlights the importance of purification practices. If you find that certain positive manifestations consistently fail to materialize despite your best efforts, there may be karmic patterns from the past creating obstacles. Traditional practices like confession, making amends, and Vajrasattva purification can help clear these karmic impediments. These practices don't magically erase consequences, but help transform your relationship to past actions, creating space for new, more wholesome patterns to emerge. Finally, the Buddha's perspective on karma encourages gratitude and humility in manifestation practice. When positive manifestations appear in your life, remember that they arise not just from your recent intentions, but from countless causes and conditions, including the support and efforts of many other beings. This recognition naturally generates gratitude and a desire to pay it forward by using what you've received to benefit others. By bringing awareness of karmic principles into your pre-sleep manifestation practice, you transform it from a potentially self-centered pursuit into a powerful force for positive transformation. Your intentions become aligned with the greater good, creating manifestations that support not only your happiness, but the well-being of all beings. The Buddha taught that this ethical alignment doesn't limit what you can manifest. Rather, it expands the positive impact of each manifestation far beyond what self-centered intentions could achieve. With a clear understanding of ethical manifestation based on karmic principles, you're ready to explore powerful visualization techniques derived from Tibetan Buddhist tradition. While mantras work primarily with sound vibration, visualization engages the mind's imaging capacity to create detailed mental templates for manifestation. These techniques, refined over centuries of practice in the Himalayan regions, offer some of the most sophisticated approaches to working with the mind's creative power. Tibetan Buddhism, also known as Vajrayana, developed particularly rich visualization practices because of its understanding that the mind creates reality through the images it holds. These aren't casual daydreams, but precisely structured mental exercises that engage multiple sensory channels to create immersive experiences. When practiced before sleep, these techniques utilize the natural hypnagogic state, the transitional consciousness between wakefulness and sleep, when the mind is highly receptive to suggestion and energetically responsive. The foundation of Tibetan visualization begins with establishing stability through calm abiding meditation, shamatha. Before engaging in complex visualization, take a few minutes to settle your mind by focusing on your breath or a simple mental image. This creates the stable attention necessary for effective visualization. The Tibetan tradition compares the mind to a canvas. It must be smooth and steady before detailed images can be painted upon it. Once your mind is relatively stable, begin with simple visualization elements and gradually build complexity. Many practitioners start with visualizing a small sphere of light at the heart center, perhaps golden, white, or blue, depending on the quality you wish to manifest. Experience this light as vividly as possible, noticing its color, brightness, texture, and the feeling it creates in your body. This simple practice alone can be powerful for manifestation, as it establishes a core energy that can then be expanded and specified. For more elaborate manifestation goals, Tibetan practice suggests creating a complete multisensory experience of your desired outcome. If manifesting a new home, for example, don't just see it. Feel yourself walking through the rooms, hear the sounds in and around it, smell the aromas and touch the surfaces. This comprehensive engagement of sensory imagination creates a more complete template for manifestation than visual imagery alone. One of the most distinctive aspects of Tibetan visualization is deity yoga, where practitioners visualize themselves as fully enlightened beings or Buddhas. For manifestation purposes, you might choose a deity whose qualities align with what you wish to manifest. Tara, for protection and swift assistance, Medicine Buddha for healing, Manjushri for wisdom and clear communication, or Vajrasattva for purification. By identifying with these enlightened energies before sleep, you temporarily step beyond your limited self-concept and access greater manifestation potential. The process typically involves 3 stages. First, visualizing the deity in front of you in great detail, then receiving blessings or merging with the deity, and finally visualizing yourself as the deity. This practice isn't about worshipping external entities, but recognizing and awakening these same enlightened qualities within yourself. The Tibetan tradition teaches that your own mind has the same nature as that of the Buddhas. Visualization simply helps you recognize and manifest this truth. Color plays a significant role in Tibetan visualization practices. Different colors correspond to different energies and manifestation purposes. White typically represents purification and removing obstacles. Red connects with magnetizing or attracting energy. Gold symbolizes abundance and prosperity. Green relates to balanced activity and healing, and blue corresponds to peaceful transformation. Choose colors in your visualization that resonate with the quality of what you're manifesting. Another powerful Tibetan technique involves visualizing your intention as already fulfilled, while generating the specific emotions this fulfillment would create. If you're manifesting improved health, visualize yourself in perfect health, feeling the vitality, joy, and freedom this brings. These emotions aren't just add-ons to the visual component, they're essential energetic ingredients that give power to the manifestation. The Tibetan tradition recognizes that emotional energy is a primary creative force. For particularly significant manifestations, you might incorporate the traditional visualization of the 5 elements. Begin by visualizing a strong foundation of earth energy, stability, surrounded by water energy, flexibility, energized by fire, transformation, expanded by air, movement, and all held within boundless space, possibility. This elemental framework creates a complete energetic environment for your specific manifestation to take form within. Tibetan traditions also employ mandala visualization, where complex geometric patterns represent the perfect ordering of universal energies. For pre-sleep manifestation, you might visualize your intention at the center of a simple mandala, perhaps a circle within a square within another circle, symbolizing how your desire is held within a perfectly arranged universe. This practice helps shift from seeing your manifestation as an isolated goal to recognizing it as part of a greater harmonic pattern. One particularly effective technique for overcoming obstacles to manifestation is the Tibetan practice of visualizing light-dissolving blocks. Identify what might be preventing your manifestation, perhaps old beliefs, fears, or external circumstances. Visualize these obstacles clearly, then imagine golden light from above gradually dissolving them completely. This practice acknowledges resistance rather than denying it, then transforms it through the power of light, a metaphor for awareness and positive energy. When working with Tibetan visualization, timing and sequence matter. The tradition suggests beginning with purification visualizations to clear obstacles, followed by positive visualizations that plant the seeds of what you wish to manifest, and concluding with dedication visualizations that extend the benefit beyond yourself. This three-part structure creates a complete cycle that honors karmic principles while maximizing manifestation potential. The Dzogchen tradition within Tibetan Buddhism offers an advanced perspective on visualization. After constructing elaborate visualizations, Dzogchen practitioners eventually dissolve these images back into the empty aware space from which they arose. This practice recognizes that all manifestations ultimately emerge from and return to the ground of pure awareness. By concluding your pre-sleep practice with a moment of resting in this open awareness, you place your specific manifestations within the context of boundless possibility. As you explore these Tibetan visualization techniques, remember that they developed within a comprehensive spiritual system. While they can be effectively adapted for specific manifestation goals, their greatest power comes when practiced with an understanding of their deeper purpose, revealing the unlimited creative potential of your own mind. The Tibetan tradition teaches that the same mind that can vividly imagine enlightened Buddhas can also manifest positive changes in your daily life. The Tibetan visualization techniques we just explored naturally extend into another powerful realm of practice, the world of dreams. In Tibetan Buddhism, there exists a sophisticated system called Dream Yoga, or Milam, that recognizes the dream state as an opportunity for spiritual practice and manifestation. This isn't just about interpreting dreams or trying to control them for entertainment. It's about recognizing that the boundary between waking and dreaming consciousness is more permeable than we typically assume, and that working in the dream state offers unique advantages for manifestation. Dream yoga begins with the recognition that we spend roughly 1/3 of our lives asleep, and a significant portion of that time dreaming. From a Buddhist perspective, this represents an enormous untapped potential for practice. Rather than these hours being downtime, they can become some of the most productive periods for communicating with universal consciousness and planting seeds of manifestation. The Tibetan tradition recognizes that during dream states, many of the conceptual limitations that constrain our waking consciousness naturally relax, creating an environment where manifestation can occur more directly. The foundation of dream yoga is developing dream awareness or lucidity, the recognition while dreaming that you are, in fact, in a dream. This awareness creates a pivotal shift in consciousness that opens remarkable possibilities for manifestation work. When you become lucid in a dream, you're simultaneously experiencing the dreamscape as real, while knowing it's a creation of mind. This paradoxical awareness closely mirrors the ideal state for manifestation, holding a clear intention while recognizing the fluid, mind-created nature of reality itself. To connect dream yoga with your pre-sleep manifestation practice, begin by setting a clear intention before falling asleep. As you complete your visualization or mantra practice, add a specific intention to become aware during your dreams. You might mentally repeat, "I will recognize when I'm dreaming. I will remain conscious in my dreams." This seemingly simple instruction plants a powerful seed that can activate during the dream state. Tibetan practitioners have used this approach for centuries to establish continuity of consciousness between waking and dreaming. Once you've set this basic intention for lucidity, add your specific manifestation focus. For example, when I become aware in my dreams, I will work on manifesting greater health, or whatever your current intention might be. This creates a bridge between your pre-sleep practice and the dream work that follows. The Tibetan tradition emphasizes that intentions set with clear focus before sleep have special power to activate during dreams. Several practical techniques can increase your chances of achieving lucidity in dreams. Throughout your day, practice what Tibetan Buddhists call reality checking, briefly questioning whether you're currently awake or dreaming. Look at your hands, a clock, or text. Look away, then look back to see if anything changes. In dreams, such details often shift when re-examined. This habitual questioning during waking hours eventually carries over into dreams, triggering lucidity when you notice dream instabilities. Another effective preparation is maintaining a dream journal. Keep a notebook and pen beside your bed and immediately record dreams upon waking, even brief fragments. This practice signals to your subconscious that you value dreams, gradually increasing dream recall and eventually lucidity. Many practitioners find that within a few weeks of consistent recording, both dream memory and instances of lucidity significantly increase. From a manifestation perspective, what makes dream yoga particularly powerful is the direct access it provides to the subconscious mind. The symbolic language and emotional landscape of dreams reflect deeper levels of consciousness than our waking rational mind. When you become lucid in this environment, you can communicate manifestation intentions directly to these deeper levels, bypassing much of the resistance that might exist in waking consciousness. Once lucid in a dream, there are several ways to work with manifestation. One approach is to simply declare your intention within the dream, perhaps visualizing it simultaneously. For example, if working with health manifestation, you might affirm, "My body is completely healed and vitalized," while visualizing luminous energy throughout your dream body. The subconscious mind receives this communication with remarkable receptivity in the dream state. Another approach is to seek guidance about your manifestation within the dream itself. When lucid, you might call forth a wise figure, perhaps a Buddhist deity or teacher, and ask specific questions about your manifestation process. What obstacles are blocking this manifestation? Or, what do I need to understand to manifest this more effectively? The answers that emerge, while expressed through dream symbolism, often contain profound insights from your deeper wisdom. You can also directly practice experiencing your manifestation as already fulfilled within the dream state. If manifesting a new career, for instance, you might consciously create a dream scenario where you're already working in this role, feeling all the associated emotions and experiencing the details of this new reality. This immersive dream experience creates powerful imprints on the subconscious that support waking manifestation. The Tibetan tradition emphasizes that dream experiences, properly understood, are not just dreams, but valid forms of consciousness with real transformative power. The same energetic principles that govern manifestation in waking life operate in dreams, sometimes with even greater immediacy due to the reduced conceptual filtering. What you practice in lucid dreams creates karmic imprints just as waking actions do, influencing what manifests in all states of consciousness. For those new to dream yoga, patience is essential. Developing dream lucidity is a skill that typically unfolds gradually over time. Begin with consistent pre-sleep intention setting, reality checking during the day, and dream journaling. Even before achieving full lucidity, you may notice your dreams naturally beginning to reflect and work with your manifestation intentions simply through these preparatory practices. Advanced practitioners eventually discover that the line between dream manifestation and waking manifestation begins to blur. The same principles govern both: clear intention, emotional engagement, symbolic representation, and recognition of the mind's role in creating experience. As your dream yoga develops, the insights gained during lucid dreams naturally inform and enhance your waking manifestation practice, creating a continuous feedback loop of increasing effectiveness. Some practitioners report that working with manifestation in dreams often produces surprising results that exceed their original concepts. The dream realm, less constrained by habitual thinking, sometimes reveals more creative or comprehensive approaches to manifestation than the waking mind could conceive. Being open to this guidance allows your manifestation practice to evolve beyond initial limitations. The ultimate teaching of dream yoga for manifestation is profoundly practical. If you can recognize the dreamlike nature of both sleeping and waking experience, you gain tremendous freedom to reshape your reality. This isn't abstract philosophy, but a direct insight with immediate applications. When you experience firsthand how your mind creates convincing realities during dreams, you naturally begin to recognize its same creative power in waking life, significantly amplifying your manifestation potential in all states of consciousness. As you develop greater facility with the dream yoga, you'll likely discover that many of the obstacles to effective manifestation are rooted in negative thought patterns that operate across both waking and dreaming states. These mental habits can sabotage your intentions unless identified and transformed. Buddhist psychology offers precise tools for working with these patterns, creating inner conditions where manifestation can flourish naturally. Buddhist psychology differs from Western approaches in its focus on directly observing how the mind creates experience from moment to moment. Rather than analysing past causes of current problems, it emphasises present awareness as the primary tool for transformation. This approach is particularly relevant for manifestation work, as it addresses the mental patterns that are actively creating your current reality. Central to Buddhist psychological understanding is the concept of samskaras, often translated as mental formations or habitual tendencies. These are deeply grooved patterns of thinking, feeling, and perceiving that colour your experience and shape what you manifest, often without conscious awareness. These patterns develop through repeated thoughts and experiences, creating what modern psychology might call neural pathways that automatically activate in similar situations. For manifestation purposes, becoming aware of your samskaras is crucial. These habitual patterns act like filters that determine what you can and cannot perceive as possible, directly influencing what you're able to manifest. For example, if you have a deeply grooved samskara of "I never have enough money," this pattern will continuously generate experiences that confirm this belief, regardless of your conscious attempts to manifest abundance. Buddhist psychology offers a systematic approach to working with these patterns. The first step is developing the mindful awareness to recognize them in action. During your pre-sleep practice, take a few minutes to observe the quality of your thoughts, particularly in relation to what you're trying to manifest. Notice recurring doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs that arise. The simple act of observing these patterns with non-judgmental awareness begins to loosen their grip. The Buddha taught a specific form of meditation called analytical meditation that's particularly effective for transforming negative thought patterns. Unlike simply observing thoughts as in mindfulness practice, analytical meditation actively examines the validity of specific thoughts. When you identify a limiting belief like "I'll never be able to manifest this," analytical meditation involves questioning this assumption. Is this definitely true? What evidence contradicts this belief? Where did I learn this limitation? This analytical process often reveals that many of our most constraining beliefs are based on limited evidence, outdated information, or were adopted from others rather than from our direct experience. Seeing this clearly diminishes the belief's power to block manifestation. The Buddha compared this process to turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness of delusion naturally dissipates when exposed to the light of clear seeing. Another powerful Buddhist technique is substitution, where you consciously replace negative thought patterns with positive alternatives. This isn't superficial positive thinking, but a deliberate reprogramming of mental habits based on more accurate and beneficial perspectives. For example, if you notice the recurrent thought, "I don't deserve success," you might substitute it with, "Like all beings, I have the natural right to fulfill my potential." For this substitution to be effective, the new thought must feel authentic rather than forced. Buddhist psychology suggests working gradually, finding statements that feel genuinely true even if they're just slightly more positive than your current beliefs. Over time, as these new patterns strengthen, you can continue moving toward increasingly empowering perspectives. This gradual approach respects the deep nature of mental conditioning while steadily transforming it. Visualization practices drawn from Buddhist Tantra offer another approach to transformation. Rather than directly fighting negative thought patterns, these practices temporarily step outside them by identifying with enlightened qualities. When you visualize yourself as an already enlightened Buddha during pre-sleep practice, you bypass your limited self-concept and experience the perspective of a fully awakened mind. From this expanded viewpoint, many negative thought patterns naturally dissolve, revealing them as unnecessary constraints rather than fixed realities. Buddhist psychology also emphasizes the power of conscious intention in reshaping mental patterns. Every time you deliberately choose a more positive perspective, you're creating new neural pathways that will eventually become as automatic as the old negative patterns. This neuroplasticity means that with consistent practice, what initially feels like effort eventually becomes your natural way of thinking. The Buddha taught that the mind can be trained in any direction through persistent, skillful effort. Working with self-talk is particularly important in transforming thought patterns that affect manifestation. The internal commentary that continuously runs through your mind has tremendous power to either support or undermine your intentions. Buddhist practice encourages becoming aware of this internal dialogue and deliberately shifting its tone to one of kindness and encouragement. Speaking to yourself with the same compassion you would offer a beloved friend creates an inner environment conducive to positive manifestation. The Buddha also taught the importance of Sangha or spiritual community in transforming mental patterns. Surrounding yourself with people who hold positive beliefs about manifestation and who engage in similar practices significantly influences your own thought patterns. Before sleep, you might take a moment to mentally connect with others who are doing this work, recognizing that you're not alone in your efforts to transform limiting beliefs into expansive possibilities. One of the most subtle and powerful aspects of Buddhist psychology is its recognition that even the sense of a fixed self is a mental construction. The teaching on anatta or not self reveals that what we take to be our permanent identity is actually a fluid process rather than a solid entity. For manifestation work, this insight is liberating. If your sense of self isn't fixed, then limiting beliefs about who you are and what's possible for someone like you lose their constraining power. This doesn't mean you don't exist, but rather that your existence is more flexible and open to transformation than you might have assumed. By applying these Buddhist psychological approaches consistently in your pre-sleep practice, you gradually transform the mental ecosystem in which your manifestations develop. Instead of planting seeds of intention in soil filled with the weeds of negative thinking, you create fertile ground of positive mental patterns that naturally support the fulfillment of your deepest intentions. This inner transformation often creates outer changes that seem miraculous, but are actually the natural result of aligning your entire mental landscape with your manifestation goals. Having explored the powerful tools of Buddhist psychology for transforming negative thought patterns, we now turn to a concept that might initially seem counterintuitive in manifestation practice: non-attachment. This principle represents one of the most profound paradoxes in Buddhist manifestation work. The idea that to effectively manifest your desires, you must simultaneously release your attachment to them. Understanding this paradox and learning to work with it skillfully can dramatically enhance your pre-sleep manifestation practice. Non-attachment, or upekkha in Pali, is often misunderstood in Western contexts as indifference or lack of care. In Buddhist teaching, however, it represents a balanced, equanimous state of mind that remains stable regardless of external circumstances. The Buddha taught that attachment, clinging desperately to specific outcomes, actually creates suffering and blocks the natural flow of manifestation energy. Think of it as the difference between holding something with a tight, anxious grip versus holding it with open, receptive hands. During your pre-sleep manifestation practice, you can observe how attachment feels in your body. Notice the subtle tension, the leaning forward quality, the underlying anxiety that your desire might not be fulfilled. This energetic signature of attachment creates resistance in the manifestation process. It broadcasts a message of lack and fear to the universe, contradicting your stated intention of abundance and fulfillment. The Buddha recognized that this inner conflict, wanting something while simultaneously fearing its absence, creates confused manifestation signals. To work with this paradox, begin your pre-sleep practice by setting clear intentions as you've learned in previous techniques. Visualize your desired manifestation with vivid detail and emotional engagement. Then, once this intention is firmly established, consciously practice letting go of your attachment to the specific outcome. You might mentally affirm, "I set this intention clearly and trust in the perfect unfolding of universal wisdom, which may fulfill this desire in ways beyond my current understanding." This release doesn't mean becoming passive or abandoning your desires. Rather, it creates space for manifestation to occur through multiple possible pathways, some of which might be more beneficial than what you initially envisioned. The Buddha taught that our limited minds often cannot conceive of the full range of possibilities that exist. By releasing attachment to one specific version of your manifestation, you open to potentially greater outcomes. A practical technique for cultivating non-attachment before sleep involves consciously breathing into any areas of tension or grasping that you notice in your body. As you exhale, imagine releasing not the desire itself, but the anxious need for it to happen in exactly the way you've pictured. This somatic approach works directly with the physical expression of attachment, gradually training your nervous system to remain relaxed and open while still holding clear intention. Another effective approach draws on the Buddhist understanding of impermanence, anicca. Before sleep, contemplate the changing nature of your desires themselves. Notice how what you wanted passionately 5 years ago might seem irrelevant today, or how desires you never imagined have become important to you. This reflection naturally loosens the grip of attachment by revealing the fluid nature of desires themselves. It doesn't invalidate your current intentions, but places them in a larger perspective that allows for more flexibility and patience. Cultivating gratitude for what you already have serves as another powerful practice for developing non-attachment. When you genuinely appreciate your current circumstances, the desperate quality of attachment naturally softens. Before sleep, spend a few minutes in gratitude for specific aspects of your life before moving into your manifestation practice. This creates an emotional foundation of abundance rather than scarcity, significantly changing the energy with which you approach manifestation. Many practitioners find it helpful to incorporate the Buddhist practice of dedicating merit into their manifestation work. After setting your intention, mentally extend its benefits beyond yourself. May the fulfillment of this desire benefit not only me, but all beings in some way. This expansion of focus from personal gain to universal benefit helps release the tight grip of attachment while actually increasing the power of your manifestation through alignment with greater purpose. The Buddha taught a middle way between the extremes of grasping attachment and indifferent detachment. This balanced approach allows you to care deeply about your intentions while remaining open to how they manifest. It's like planting a seed with proper care and attention, then allowing it to grow according to its own nature rather than anxiously digging it up every day to check its progress or trying to force it into a preconceived shape. As you practice non-attachment in your pre-sleep manifestation work, you may notice a surprising effect. The reduced anxiety and increased peace this creates often accelerates the manifestation process. Many long-sought desires suddenly appear when we finally release our white-knuckled grip on them. This isn't magical thinking, but a natural consequence of removing the energetic resistance that attachment creates. The Buddha recognized that our clinging creates subtle barriers to receiving what we desire. Non-attachment also provides valuable emotional stability during the manifestation process. When your happiness isn't completely dependent on a specific outcome, you can maintain positive energy regardless of apparent progress or setbacks. This consistent positive state becomes a powerful attractor for your manifestations, creating a virtuous cycle of well-being that supports your intentions. With practice, you may discover that non-attachment isn't something you do but a state of being that emerges naturally from deeper understanding. As your pre-sleep practice matures, the artificial separation between setting intentions and releasing attachment dissolves. You become capable of holding clear, powerful desires while simultaneously remaining completely at peace with whatever unfolds. This integrated awareness represents the highest expression of Buddhist manifestation practice. Clear intention combined with equanimous acceptance. The practice of non-attachment before sleep creates a profound shift in consciousness that continues to operate even as you dream. Many practitioners report that this combination of clear intention and relaxed acceptance creates a fertile environment for meaningful dreams that provide guidance about their manifestation process. By releasing the constriction of attachment, you allow your deeper wisdom to communicate more freely through dream imagery and insights. As you continue exploring non-attachment in your pre-sleep manifestation practice, remember that like all spiritual skills, it develops gradually through consistent effort. Some nights you'll find it easier to release attachment than others. Approach this variation with the same equanimity you're cultivating toward your manifestations themselves. The Buddha emphasized that the path unfolds through patient, persistent practice rather than perfect immediate results. This principle of non-attachment provides the perfect foundation for understanding our next topic, the integration of body, speech, and mind for holistic manifestation. While non-attachment creates the ideal internal environment for manifestation, this threefold integration ensures that all aspects of your being are aligned in supporting your intentions. The Buddhist Tantric tradition offers a comprehensive approach to spiritual practice by recognizing that humans exist simultaneously on three levels: physical, body; verbal, speech; and mental, mind. When these three dimensions are properly aligned and integrated, they create a powerful conduit for manifestation energy. This holistic approach dramatically enhances pre-sleep practice by engaging your entire being rather than just your conscious thoughts. The body aspect involves recognizing that your physical form is not separate from your consciousness, but an expression of it. Before sleep, consider incorporating specific postures, asanas, that align your physical energy with your manifestation intentions. Simple yoga poses like child's pose for surrender, mountain pose for strength and stability, or heart-opening poses for receiving can prepare your body to support your manifestation work. The Buddha himself taught the importance of proper posture for meditation, recognizing that physical alignment influences mental clarity. You don't need to perform an entire yoga sequence before sleep. Even taking 2 to 3 minutes to move your body intentionally can make a significant difference. Pay particular attention to releasing tension in areas where you tend to hold stress. The jaw, shoulders, and lower back often store emotional and mental constriction that can block manifestation energy. Gentle stretching or self-massage of these areas before your manifestation practice helps create physical receptivity. The breath serves as the bridge between body and mind, making conscious breathing especially important in integrating your manifestation practice. Before sleep, take several deep, slow breaths, allowing your exhales to be slightly longer than your inhales. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, creating the relaxed alertness ideal for manifestation work. As you breathe, imagine drawing in universal energy with each inhale and releasing all resistance with each exhale. This simple practice aligns your nervous system with your conscious intentions. The speech element involves the power of sound vibration, which we've explored through mantras. In tantric understanding, speech is not limited to external vocalization but includes internal dialogue as well. Before sleep, pay attention to the quality of your self-talk around your manifestation intentions. Are you using empowering language internally or undermining your desires with subtle doubt? Consciously choose affirming language that assumes the fulfillment of your intentions rather than questioning their possibility. Sound vibration can be incorporated through whispered or spoken affirmations as you prepare for sleep. The physical vibration of sound in your body creates resonance patterns that influence your subtle energy system. Even speaking your intentions aloud once with full presence creates a different energetic imprint than merely thinking about them. The Buddha recognized the power of speech when he included right speech in the Eightfold Path, acknowledging that how we verbalize our understanding shapes our reality. The mind aspect involves the visualization and intention-setting techniques we've already explored. What's important to understand in this integrated approach is that your mental practice becomes significantly more powerful when aligned with supportive physical postures and verbal expressions. Rather than imagination alone, this becomes a whole-being communication with universal consciousness. A practical example of this integration might look like this. Begin with gentle stretching to release physical tension and create openness. Then establish conscious breathing that calms and centers your energy. Next, introduce a spoken or whispered affirmation or mantra that captures your intention. Finally, engage in visualization while maintaining awareness of your relaxed body and steady breath. This progressive engagement of body, speech, and mind creates a coherent field of energy, much stronger than any one element alone. Tantric Buddhism developed this integrated approach, based on the understanding that humans are not just thinking beings, but complex systems where physical, verbal, and mental energies continuously interact. By consciously aligning these three aspects before sleep, you create internal coherence that naturally enhances your manifestation capacity. This isn't about adding more techniques, but about bringing greater awareness to how these dimensions work together. The timing of this integrated practice is particularly important. The pre-sleep period represents a unique opportunity because your brainwave patterns naturally shift towards states more receptive to reprogramming. As your body relaxes physically, resistance in your subtle energy channels diminishes. As external dialogue ceases, your receptivity to internal speech increases. As analytical thinking subsides, your capacity for imaginative visualization expands. These natural transitions make bedtime ideal for integrated practice. Many practitioners find it helpful to create a simple pre-sleep ritual that honors each aspect of this trinity. Perhaps beginning with 3 minutes of gentle movement, followed by 2 minutes of conscious breathing with quiet mantra repetition, concluding with 3 minutes of visualization. This brief but comprehensive approach engages your entire being in the manifestation process without requiring extensive time before sleep. This integration also helps resolve the common problem of internal contradiction in manifestation work. Many people experience frustration when their conscious intentions seem at odds with their results. Often this occurs because while the mind is affirming one thing, the body is contracted in doubt, or the internal dialogue is undermining the stated intention. By bringing conscious alignment to all three aspects, these contradictions naturally resolve, creating a clear, coherent manifestation signal. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from fragmentation and discord, while liberation comes through integration and harmony. This principle applies directly to manifestation work. When your physical sensations, verbal expressions, and mental images all align around your intention, you create an internal environment where manifestation occurs more as a natural unfolding than a forced effort. This alignment eliminates the energetic static that often interferes with clear manifestation. As you continue developing your pre-sleep practice, regularly check in with all three aspects. Notice if one dimension has been neglected or is contradicting the others. Perhaps your visualizations are positive, but your body tenses when you imagine your desire fulfilled, or your affirmations contain subtle doubts hidden in qualifying language. By bringing compassionate awareness to these inconsistencies, you gradually create greater internal harmony that supports clear manifestation. This integrated approach represents one of Buddhism's most significant contributions to manifestation practice. Rather than treating manifestation as merely a mental exercise, it honors the multidimensional nature of human experience. By engaging body, speech, and mind together before sleep, you create a harmonious internal environment where your deepest intentions can take root and flourish as you transition into the receptive state of sleep. Now that we've explored the integrated approach to manifestation using body, speech, and mind together, it's valuable to understand how the Buddha's teaching on the middle way applies specifically to our desires and manifestation practices. This core Buddhist concept offers a balanced approach that avoids the extremes that often derail manifestation efforts. The middle way, or Madhyama Pratipad in Sanskrit, was one of the Buddha's most revolutionary teachings. He discovered this balanced approach after trying both extreme self-indulgence as a prince and extreme asceticism as a wandering seeker. Neither extreme led to awakening. Instead, he found that the path of moderation, not too tight, not too loose, created the optimal conditions for spiritual growth. When applied to manifestation practices, the middle way helps us navigate between two common pitfalls: excessive craving on one hand and complete suppression of desires on the other. Many people approach manifestation with intense craving, becoming obsessed with outcomes and creating suffering for themselves in the process. Others, having learned about spiritual teachings on desire, mistakenly believe they should eliminate all wants and intentions. The middle way offers a more nuanced and practical approach. The balanced approach begins with honestly acknowledging your desires without judgment. Before sleep, allow yourself to recognize what you truly want to manifest without immediately labeling desires as either spiritual or materialistic. The Buddha taught that desires themselves are natural aspects of human experience. It's our relationship to them that determines whether they lead to suffering or happiness. Next, examine each desire with mindful awareness. Ask yourself, does this desire arise from wholesome or unwholesome roots? Will its fulfillment create greater peace and well-being for myself and others? Or will it lead to further craving and discontent? This discernment process helps refine your desires without suppressing them. Some desires may fall away naturally when examined, while others may transform into more beneficial forms. The middle way approach also involves holding your desires with appropriate effort, neither grasping desperately nor remaining passively indifferent. This balanced effort is like holding a small bird in your hands. Grip too tightly and you crush it. Hold too loosely and it flies away. During your pre-sleep practice, notice the quality of energy you bring to your manifestations. Are you straining with anxious effort or approaching with lazy indifference? Adjust toward the middle, clear intention combined with relaxed confidence. Another aspect of the middle way in manifestation involves balancing specificity with openness. Being too rigid about exactly how your desire must manifest can block creative possibilities, while being too vague provides insufficient direction for manifestation energy. Before sleep, try setting clear intentions about the essence of what you desire while remaining flexible about its specific form. For example, rather than fixating on a particular job at a specific company, focus on the qualities of work that would fulfill you while remaining open to unexpected opportunities. The Buddha's teaching on the middle way also applies to timing and patience. Many people either expect instant manifestation leading to disappointment, or adopt a completely passive whatever will be attitude. The balanced approach involves taking consistent action toward your desires, while accepting that some manifestations develop according to their own natural timing. During your pre-sleep practice, cultivate the patience to allow seeds of intention to grow at their own pace, while maintaining regular attention and care through your practice. Perhaps most importantly, the middle way helps us balance self-improvement desires with self-acceptance. Many manifestation practices inadvertently reinforce a sense of current inadequacy or lack. The balanced approach involves fully accepting yourself as you are right now while simultaneously holding intentions for growth and positive change. Before sleep, take a moment to acknowledge your inherent completeness in this present moment, then set intentions from this place of sufficiency rather than deficiency. The middle way also offers guidance about how to relate to manifestation outcomes. When desired results appear, many people either become attached and fearful of losing them, or immediately shift focus to the next desire without proper appreciation. When results don't appear as expected, people often either give up entirely or redouble their efforts with desperate intensity. The balanced approach involves celebrating manifestations with grateful appreciation without clinging, while meeting delays or apparent failures with equanimity and adjusted effort, rather than despair or obsession. In practical terms, a middle way approach to pre-sleep manifestation might look like this. Begin by setting aside 10 to 15 minutes before sleep, not so brief that the practice feels rushed, not so long that it interferes with needed rest. Start with a few moments acknowledging and appreciating your current reality, then clearly visualize what you wish to manifest while holding it with interested non-attachment. Notice any tendencies toward either grasping or indifference, gently adjusting toward balance. Conclude by releasing specific outcomes while maintaining clear intention, trusting in the natural unfolding of causes and conditions. This balanced approach often creates a surprising effect. Manifestations tend to occur more readily when we're neither desperately craving them nor completely indifferent to them. The middle way creates an energetic environment where intentions can develop naturally, without the constriction of extreme positions. The Buddha discovered this principle through direct experience, and countless practitioners have verified it in their own lives. As you continue developing your pre-sleep manifestation practice, regularly check in with this middle way approach. Notice when you might be sliding toward either extreme, either white-knuckling your desires or becoming disconnected from them. Gently adjust back to center, finding that sweet spot of balanced intention that makes manifestation a joyful, natural process rather than an anxious struggle or passive hope. The middle way isn't a compromise between extremes, but a higher integration that incorporates the wisdom of both. It acknowledges the power of clear desire while recognizing the freedom of non-attachment. This balanced path transforms manifestation from a potentially ego-reinforcing practice into one that contributes to genuine spiritual growth and lasting happiness. While the middle way provides the balanced approach for working with desires, the actual language we use to formulate our intentions carries tremendous power. Buddhist sutras, the recorded teachings of the Buddha and later masters, contain precisely crafted language designed to transform consciousness. By drawing on these ancient texts to create your manifestation affirmations, you tap into linguistic patterns that have been refined over thousands of years specifically to awaken positive qualities and potential. Buddhist sutras weren't originally created as manifestation tools, but their carefully constructed phrases contain remarkable power to shift perception and experience. These sacred texts use language patterns that bypass ordinary thinking and speak directly to deeper levels of consciousness. When adapted as personal affirmations before sleep, these patterns can significantly enhance your manifestation practice. The Dhammapada, one of the most beloved Buddhist texts, opens with the verse, "Mind precedes all phenomena. Mind is their chief, they're all mind-made. If with an impure mind one speaks or acts, suffering follows as the wheel follows the hoof of the ox. If with a pure mind one speaks or acts, happiness follows like a never-departing shadow." This teaching on the primacy of mind forms the perfect foundation for manifestation affirmations. You might adapt it as "My mind creates my reality. With pure intention I manifest circumstances of joy and benefit." The Heart Sutra, famous for its teaching on emptiness, contains the powerful phrase, "Form is emptiness, emptiness is form." This paradoxical statement points to the fluid, non-solid nature of reality, precisely the understanding that makes manifestation possible. As a pre-sleep affirmation, you might adapt this as, "All forms arise from infinite potential. My desired manifestation already exists in potential, now emerging into form." The Metta Sutta offers beautiful language for generating loving kindness, which creates an ideal emotional foundation for manifestation. The traditional phrases, "May I be well," "May I be happy," "May I be peaceful," "May I be free from suffering," can be adapted to support specific manifestations. May I be well, manifesting perfect health. May I be happy, drawing joyful circumstances to me. May I be peaceful, creating harmony in all my relationships. May I be free from suffering, manifesting abundance and ease. The Buddha frequently used declarative statements of truth rather than tentative hopes or wishes. This grammatical structure creates more powerful affirmations. For example, in the Mangala Sutta he states, "Not to associate with fools, to associate with the wise, and to honour those worthy of honour, this is the greatest blessing." Adapting this structure for manifestation might look like, "To release limiting beliefs, to embody wisdom, and to manifest my highest potential, this is now my reality." Another powerful linguistic pattern found in Buddhist sutras is the use of present tense completed action statements. Rather than focusing on future hopes, these statements describe reality as already transformed. The Buddha didn't say, "May I someday become enlightened," but rather, "I am awakened." Following this pattern, your affirmations might shift from "I hope to find a fulfilling job" to "I now embody work that fulfills my purpose and serves others." Many Buddhist texts use rhythmic repetition to embed teachings deeply in consciousness. The Diamond Sutra, for instance, repeats key phrases with slight variations throughout the text. This repetition creates a hypnotic effect that helps bypass critical thinking and speak directly to deeper awareness. You can use this technique by repeating your core affirmation with slight variations. "I am fully worthy of abundance. I naturally attract abundance. I gratefully receive abundance. I joyfully experience abundance." The language of Buddhist sutras often connects individual experience with universal principles, creating affirmations that transcend limited ego desires. For example, the Dhammapada states, "Hatred never ceases through hatred in this world. Through love alone it ceases. This is an eternal law." Adapting this pattern, your manifestation might connect personal desires with universal benefit. "My success never comes through harm to others. Through service it naturally flows. This manifestation benefits all beings." Many Buddhist texts use vivid sensory language to make teachings more impactful. The Buddha often described states of being in concrete experiential terms, rather than abstract concepts. Following this pattern, craft affirmations that engage multiple senses. "I feel the warmth of abundant resources supporting me. I see opportunities clearly appearing before me. I hear words of encouragement and collaboration around me." The sutras also frequently use natural metaphors that connect human experience with universal patterns. The Buddha compared the awakened mind to the full moon, undisturbed water, and a steady flame. You might incorporate similar natural imagery. "My manifestation unfolds as naturally as a flower opening to the sun. My intention flows like water, finding its perfect path. My commitment remains steady as a mountain." When creating your personal affirmations based on Buddhist sutras, it's important to maintain integrity with the original teachings. Avoid twisting Dharma language to serve purely selfish or harmful ends. The most powerful affirmations align with the core Buddhist values of wisdom, compassion, and harmony. This alignment doesn't limit what you can manifest, but ensures that your manifestations contribute to genuine well-being rather than temporary pleasure followed by greater suffering. The timing of these sutra-based affirmations is particularly important. The pre-sleep period represents a unique opportunity for this practice because critical thinking naturally diminishes as you approach sleep. The analytical mind that might otherwise question or doubt these statements becomes less active, allowing the affirmations to reach deeper levels of consciousness. The Buddha himself recognized the power of this transitional state, often giving important teachings in the evening hours. Many practitioners find it helpful to write their sutra-based affirmations in a beautiful script and place them beside their bed. Reading them slowly and with full presence just before sleep creates both visual and auditory imprints. You might also record yourself speaking these affirmations softly and play the recording as you drift off to sleep, allowing the sacred language to continue working even as conscious awareness fades. Remember that these affirmations gain power through consistent use over time. Rather than frequently changing your phrases based on momentary desires, choose affirmations that represent your core intentions and work with them for at least 21 days. The Buddha emphasized that spiritual practice requires patient cultivation, like the gradual filling of a water vessel drop by drop. Your sutra-based affirmations become more powerful with each repetition, gradually reshaping your subconscious beliefs and manifesting corresponding external circumstances. Building on the practice of crafting manifestation affirmations from Buddhist sutras, we now turn to an approach that fundamentally transforms the energy and scope of your manifestation practice. Compassion-based manifestation practices shift the focus from solely personal benefit to including the welfare of all beings. This expansion might initially seem counterintuitive. Wouldn't focusing exclusively on your own desires create more direct results? Buddhist wisdom suggests otherwise, revealing that compassion actually amplifies manifestation power while creating more sustainable and meaningful outcomes. Compassion, or karuna in Sanskrit, represents one of the 4 sublime states in Buddhist practice. Unlike ordinary emotional compassion that can lead to burnout or pity, Buddhist compassion combines deep care for suffering with balanced equanimity and wisdom. When applied to manifestation, compassion transforms potentially self-centered desires into intentions that ripple outward, with positive effects for many beings. A practical way to incorporate compassion into your pre-sleep manifestation begins with a simple shift in perspective. Before formulating your specific intentions, take a moment to expand your awareness beyond personal concerns. Recognize that your well-being is interconnected with countless others, family, community, and ultimately all beings. This wider perspective doesn't diminish your personal desires, but places them within a larger context of shared experience. The Tibetan practice of Tonglen, which we touched on earlier, offers a powerful method for compassion-based manifestation. Traditional Tonglen involves breathing in the suffering of others and breathing out relief, reversing the natural tendency to grasp at pleasure and avoid pain. For manifestation purposes, this practice can be adapted by first identifying an area where you wish to create positive change, then recognizing how this same need exists for many others. For example, if you're manifesting financial abundance, you might practice by breathing in awareness of financial struggle experienced by yourself and others, then breathing out visions of sufficient resources for all. This doesn't mean your personal abundance is diminished by including others. Rather, the energy of your intention expands exponentially when it encompasses wider benefit. The Buddha taught that intentions encompassing the welfare of many beings carry special power because they align with universal compassionate awareness. Another compassion-based approach involves the Buddhist practice of dedicating merit. After your regular manifestation practice, consciously direct the positive energy generated toward the benefit of all beings. You might silently state, "May the energy of this practice create positive conditions not only for myself, but for all who are in need. May everyone's genuine needs be fulfilled." This dedication expands the scope of your practice beyond personal gain, paradoxically increasing its manifestation potential. Many practitioners notice a qualitative difference in how manifestations unfold when compassion becomes central to the practice. Rather than simply receiving what you visualized, you might find opportunities appearing that simultaneously fulfill your needs while allowing you to serve others. The manifestation gains an elegant efficiency, often addressing multiple needs through single solutions. The Buddha recognized this pattern, teaching that aligned actions create harmonious results that benefit many simultaneously. Compassion-based manifestation also helps navigate the potential pitfalls of spiritual materialism, using spiritual practices merely to gain material advantage without inner transformation. By maintaining awareness of how your manifestations might benefit others, you naturally refine your desires toward those that create genuine value rather than merely accumulating possessions or status. This refinement doesn't limit what you can manifest, but ensures that what appears in your life contributes to meaningful happiness rather than temporary pleasure. A practical exercise for pre-sleep compassion-based manifestation involves asking yourself transformative questions. How might this desire, if fulfilled, allow me to better serve others? What positive effects beyond my personal benefit might emerge from this manifestation? Who else might benefit if this intention is fulfilled? These questions naturally expand your manifestation energy beyond self-concern without denying legitimate personal needs. The Buddha taught that the mind becomes like what it frequently contemplates. When your pre-sleep manifestation practice regularly includes compassion for others, you begin developing what Buddhism calls bodhicitta, the awakened heart that spontaneously works for the benefit of all. This shift in consciousness creates an internal environment where manifestation becomes less about getting and more about creating benefit, yet paradoxically often leads to receiving more than when pursuing self-interest alone. Some people worry that including others in their manifestation practice might dilute their focus or diminish what they receive. Buddhist understanding suggests the opposite. Like a single candle lighting many others without diminishing its own flame, compassion-based manifestation expands rather than divides positive outcomes. This principle reflects the Buddha's teaching that generosity naturally creates abundance, while grasping creates limitation. The pre-sleep period offers an ideal time for compassion-based manifestation, because the relaxed, drowsy state naturally softens the boundaries of ordinary self-concern. As the analytical mind quiets, the heart's natural capacity for connection becomes more accessible. Many practitioners report that compassionate intentions set before sleep often yield surprisingly creative solutions that their waking, problem-solving mind couldn't have conceived, solutions that elegantly address both personal needs and wider benefit. A simple technique for cultivating this expanded awareness involves visualizing your desired manifestation as a bright light in your heart. As you prepare for sleep, imagine this light gradually expanding beyond your body to include loved ones, then your community, and eventually all beings everywhere. Feel how your personal intention connects with similar needs and aspirations throughout the world. This exercise maintains the specificity of your desire while placing it within the context of shared human experience. Compassion-based manifestation also creates a powerful safeguard against potential negative consequences of fulfilled desires. When intentions emerge from compassionate awareness, they naturally align with harmlessness and mutual benefit. This alignment helps ensure that what you manifest doesn't create unexpected suffering for yourself or others. The Buddha emphasized that actions based in wisdom and compassion create positive results not just immediately, but over long periods, unlike actions based in greed or aversion, which may yield short-term gains but long-term problems. As you continue developing your pre-sleep manifestation practice, consider gradually shifting from the question, "What do I want to manifest?" to "What does the world need that aligns with my gifts and legitimate needs?" This subtle but profound shift often reveals manifestation possibilities with greater meaning and impact than purely personal desires could generate. The Buddha taught that finding this intersection between personal capacity and world need leads to the deepest fulfillment. Remember that compassion-based manifestation doesn't require extraordinary self-sacrifice or denial of personal needs. The Buddhist middle way applies here too, neither ignoring your legitimate desires nor fixating exclusively on them. The balanced approach involves recognizing that sustainable happiness emerges when personal well-being and collective benefit are aligned rather than opposed. Your pre-sleep intention setting becomes most powerful when it honors both dimensions simultaneously. Now that we've explored how compassion expands the scope of manifestation practice, let's examine a profound concept that transforms our understanding of how manifestation works at its core. The Buddhist teaching on emptiness, or sunyata in Sanskrit, provides revolutionary insight into the nature of reality that directly applies to manifestation practice. Far from meaning nothingness or void, emptiness points to the absence of independent inherent existence in all phenomena, including both what we wish to manifest and the self that desires it. This teaching might initially seem abstract or irrelevant to practical manifestation, but it actually offers the ultimate key to understanding why and how manifestation works. The Heart Sutra, one of Buddhism's most essential texts, states, "Form is emptiness, emptiness is form," a paradoxical expression pointing to how seemingly solid reality emerges from unlimited potential. From this perspective, manifestation isn't about creating something from nothing, but rather about influencing how potential takes form through intention and attention. The practical application of emptiness to pre-sleep manifestation begins with recognizing the fluid, impermanent nature of what we consider reality. Before setting specific intentions, take a few moments to notice how your current circumstances, both positive and challenging, have arisen from countless causes and conditions, rather than existing inherently. This recognition creates a subtle but powerful shift. If nothing exists independently or permanently, then change isn't just possible, but inevitable. Your current limitations are as empty of inherent existence as the new circumstances you wish to manifest. Emptiness teaches that all phenomena arise through dependent origination, pratitya samutpada, the principle that everything emerges in dependence on multiple causes and conditions. For manifestation practice, this understanding is liberating because it reveals that by intentionally changing some conditions, particularly your thought patterns, beliefs, and intentions, you participate in creating new outcomes. The Buddha taught that mind is the forerunner of all things, not because physical reality is an illusion, but because consciousness influences how potential takes form. A simple meditation on emptiness before your manifestation practice involves noting how your desires themselves arise and dissolve. Watch how what seemed urgently important last year might now seem irrelevant, or how new aspirations have emerged that you couldn't have anticipated. This observation reveals the empty nature of desires themselves, not empty in the sense of being meaningless, but empty of permanent independent existence. This insight helps hold desires lightly while still working with them intentionally. The understanding of emptiness naturally dissolves rigid mental constructs about what's possible or impossible for you. Many limitations we experience in manifestation come from solidified beliefs about identity, capability, and deservingness. Before sleep, spend a few minutes investigating these beliefs directly. Is it inherently true that I can't manifest this? Where does this limitation really exist? In unchangeable reality or in concept only? This inquiry, approached with genuine curiosity rather than forced positivity, often reveals that our most constrictive limitations exist primarily as thought constructs without inherent reality. The Heart Sutra's teaching that form is emptiness, and emptiness is form points to the paradoxical nature of manifestation. The things we wish to manifest are simultaneously real in their appearance and empty of independent existence. This dual understanding prevents two common manifestation mistakes, either dismissing material reality as just illusion, or becoming so fixated on physical outcomes that we ignore their constructed, impermanent nature. The balanced view recognizes both aspects simultaneously. In practical terms, approaching pre-sleep manifestation with an understanding of emptiness might look like this. Clearly visualize what you wish to manifest while simultaneously recognizing it as a flowing process, rather than a solid static outcome. Hold your intention firmly, but without the rigid grasping that comes from seeing desired outcomes as independently existent saviors. Notice how this emptiness perspective creates a lighter, more spacious energy around your desires without diminishing their clarity or importance. The Buddhist understanding of emptiness also transforms how we view obstacles to manifestation. When difficulties arise, emptiness teaches that these too lack inherent existence and permanence. Rather than solid barriers, obstacles can be seen as temporary configurations of conditions that can shift and change. Before sleep, you might contemplate specific challenges to your manifestation with this perspective. This obstacle appears solid, but is actually composed of changing conditions. Which conditions might be influenced or shifted through my intention and action? Perhaps most importantly, emptiness teachings reveal the constructed nature of the self that desires and manifests. The Buddha taught anatta or not self, the understanding that what we call I or me is actually a process rather than a fixed entity. This insight directly impacts manifestation by loosening the grip of limiting self-concepts. Many manifestation efforts stall because they conflict with our sense of identity. That's not who I am, or someone like me doesn't have that. Before sleep, gently investigate these identity boundaries. Is this sense of limited self inherently true, or is it a flexible concept that can evolve? This recognition doesn't mean you don't exist. Rather, it points to your existence as fluid, interconnected, and full of potential beyond current self-definition. The Tibetan Buddhist tradition compares the mind to the sky and thoughts to clouds. The empty, open awareness that is your fundamental nature has no inherent limitations. When manifestation arises from this spacious recognition, rather than from a contracted sense of needy self, its power expands dramatically. The practice of contemplating emptiness before sleep creates an optimal state for manifestation because it naturally relaxes the conceptual mind's grip on how things are and how things should be. This relaxation opens space for new possibilities to emerge that might not fit previous patterns or expectations. Many practitioners report that their most surprising and beneficial manifestations appeared after periods of working with emptiness contemplation, which seemed to create cracks in their usual reality construct through which new possibilities could emerge. When working with emptiness in relation to manifestation, it's important to maintain the middle way between extremes. Some practitioners mistakenly conclude that if everything is empty, then desires and intentions don't matter. Others become so fascinated with emptiness philosophy that they neglect practical action. The balanced approach recognizes emptiness while still engaging purposefully with conventional reality. The Buddha taught that awakening involves understanding both ultimate truth, emptiness, and conventional truth, the apparent world of cause and effect, simultaneously. This balanced understanding leads to what Buddhism calls non-abiding, manifesting intentionally while remaining unattached to fixed outcomes because you recognize their empty and permanent nature. Before sleep, you might practice by setting clear intentions, while simultaneously releasing them into the fluid field of potential, trusting in the natural unfolding of conditions beyond your limited conception. This paradoxical combination of clarity and openness creates ideal conditions for manifestation that exceeds your expectations. Having explored the profound concept of emptiness as it relates to manifestation, we now turn to a more practical dimension: how natural cycles and rhythms can enhance your manifestation practice. Buddhist traditions have long recognized that energy flows differently according to cosmic patterns, and aligning your manifestation work with these natural rhythms can significantly amplify your results. The seasonal and lunar cycles in particular offer a framework for timing your practice that has been utilized by Buddhist practitioners for thousands of years. Buddhist calendars traditionally follow lunar cycles rather than the solar calendar most commonly used today. This attention to the moon's phases reflects an understanding that subtle energies ebb and flow in patterns that affect consciousness and manifestation potential. The Buddha himself often timed important teachings to coincide with full moon days, recognizing the heightened receptivity and energy present during these periods. The full moon represents the peak of the lunar cycle and is considered especially powerful for manifestation practices. In Buddhist countries, full moon days, known as Uposatha days, are dedicated to intensive spiritual practice, with monastics and lay practitioners alike engaging in meditation, chanting, and renewal of commitments. For manifestation purposes, the full moon provides exceptional energy for bringing intentions to culmination, or for practices focused on abundance, illumination, and full expression of potential. The pre-sleep period during a full moon combines two powerful portals: the natural transition into sleep consciousness and the heightened energy of the lunar peak. Many practitioners report that intentions set during this alignment carry particular potency. To utilize this timing, mark full moon dates on your calendar and plan to emphasize your manifestation practice on these evenings. The amplified energy doesn't require changing your techniques. Simply apply your regular practice with awareness of the supportive lunar influence. The new moon, conversely, offers a different quality of manifestation energy, one of beginnings, planting seeds, and setting foundations for new endeavors. In many Buddhist traditions, the new moon is associated with Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, making it particularly supportive for compassion-based manifestation practices. The darkness of the new moon creates a space of potential from which new intentions can emerge, much like the concept of emptiness we explored previously. For pre-sleep manifestation, the new moon provides ideal energy for initiating projects, beginning new habits, or planting the first seeds of significant life changes. The quiet, inward quality of new moon energy pairs naturally with the introspective state that precedes sleep. Some practitioners find that manifestations initiated at the new moon and reinforced at the full moon create a natural rhythm that aligns with universal cycles. The waxing phase between new and full moon offers gradually increasing energy that supports building, developing, and expanding your manifestations. The waning phase between full and new moon provides energy for releasing obstacles, completing processes, and letting go of what no longer serves your intentions. By tracking these phases and adjusting the emphasis of your pre-sleep practice accordingly, you create a cyclical approach that honors natural rhythms. Beyond the lunar cycle, seasonal changes offer another layer of timing wisdom for manifestation. Buddhist traditions across Asia developed sophisticated understandings of how energy shifts with the seasons, often incorporating this knowledge into their practice calendars. While specific interpretations vary between cultures, certain principles remain consistent and can be adapted to enhance your manifestation practice. Spring carries energy of new growth, making it particularly supportive for manifesting new beginnings, creative projects, and fresh approaches to persistent challenges. During spring evenings, your pre-sleep practice might emphasize visualization of new possibilities emerging with vibrant energy. The natural world's demonstration of growth from seeming dormancy reinforces the manifestation principle that much develops unseen before becoming visible. Summer brings energy of full expression and abundance. This season naturally supports manifestations related to relationships, community, and bringing projects to fruition. The longer days and shorter nights of summer alter sleep patterns for many people, sometimes creating a shorter pre-sleep window. Quality becomes particularly important during this season. Even 5 minutes of fully focused intention before sleep can be highly effective when aligned with summer's expansive energy. Autumn carries energy of harvest and evaluation, supporting manifestations related to abundance, completion, and discernment. This season naturally encourages reflecting on what has manifested thus far and what might need adjustment. Pre-sleep practices during autumn might include gratitude for what has already manifested, alongside refined intentions based on the year's experiences. The natural shedding that occurs in autumn also supports releasing aspects of your manifestation that no longer serve your highest good. Winter brings energy of introspection and deep renewal, supporting internal manifestations related to wisdom, spiritual growth, and preparation for future expression. The longer nights of winter provide extended opportunity for pre-sleep practice. Many Buddhist traditions include intensive retreat periods during winter, recognizing the natural inward pull of this season. Your manifestation practice might focus more on internal shifts in consciousness that will later enable external changes when more expansive seasons return. Solstices and equinoxes mark key turning points in the seasonal cycle and have been honored in Buddhist traditions across cultures. These astronomical transitions represent moments when cosmic energies shift in perceptible ways. The winter solstice, with the longest night of the year, offers exceptional opportunity for deep manifestation work during extended darkness. The summer solstice, with the longest day, creates heightened energy that can be carried into your abbreviated night practice. The spring and fall equinoxes, with their perfect balance of day and night, support manifestations that require bringing opposing elements into harmony. Some Buddhist practitioners combine lunar and seasonal awareness with astrological timing for even more precise alignment. While Buddhist astrology differs from Western traditions, it similarly recognizes that cosmic positions create varying energetic influences. If this dimension interests you, resources on Tibetan or East Asian Buddhist astrology can provide deeper understanding of auspicious timing for specific types of manifestation. At a practical level, aligning with natural cycles doesn't require becoming a celestial timing expert. Simply maintaining basic awareness of moon phases and seasonal shifts, then bringing this awareness into your pre-sleep practice, creates meaningful connection with universal rhythms. Many smartphone apps now track moon phases, making this information readily accessible. For seasonal awareness, simply noticing changes in light, temperature, and natural surroundings brings this dimension into your consciousness. What makes timing awareness powerful for manifestation isn't just the external alignment, but the psychological effect of connecting your personal practice with greater cycles. This connection naturally expands your perspective beyond immediate results to a more patient cosmic view. When your pre-sleep practice acknowledges these greater rhythms, you begin experiencing your manifestation as part of natural unfolding rather than an isolated effort to force particular outcomes. The Buddha taught that all phenomena in the universe follow patterns of arising, existing, and dissolving in cycles of various durations. By consciously aligning your manifestation practice with these natural patterns, you work with rather than against universal flow. This alignment reduces struggle and increases harmony in how your intentions take form. The pre-sleep period, as a daily transition point in consciousness, provides the perfect opportunity to connect your personal cycles with these greater cosmic rhythms. This natural alignment with universal timing leads us directly into our final topic, the essential qualities of patience and trust in the manifestation process. While proper timing enhances manifestation potential, developing these inner qualities determines how peacefully and effectively you navigate the sometimes mysterious journey from intention to manifestation. Patience in Buddhist practice is not passive waiting, but active engagement with the present moment while allowing natural processes to unfold in their own time. The Buddha used the term khanti in Pali to describe this patient endurance that remains steadfast through both swift manifestations and those that develop more gradually. This quality becomes particularly important in pre-sleep manifestation because the dream state and sleep consciousness often work with different timelines than our waking analytical mind expects. The natural mind state before sleep offers a perfect opportunity to cultivate patience. As your body relaxes and thoughts begin to slow, you enter a liminal space where time perception naturally shifts. This state mirrors the non-linear way manifestation often unfolds, rarely in the straight line from A to B that our planning mind prefers. By practicing patience during this transition to sleep, you train both conscious and subconscious aspects of your mind to remain steady during the manifestation journey. One practical approach involves observing your breath as you prepare for sleep, noticing how each breath naturally has its own rhythm without requiring force or control. This simple awareness practice builds neural pathways of patience that transfer to how you relate to your manifestations. The Buddha taught breath awareness as a foundation practice precisely because the breath embodies natural timing beyond our control, yet intimately connected to our being. Impatience typically arises from the thinking mind's attachment to specific timelines and outcomes. Before sleep, notice if anxious thoughts arise about when or how your manifestation will appear. Rather than suppressing this anxiety, acknowledge it with compassionate awareness. You might mentally note, impatience is present, then gently return to trust in the process. This recognition without identification gradually diminishes the power of impatience to disturb your manifestation energy. The Buddha taught that impatience creates a form of suffering called viparinama dukkha, the stress of wanting things to be different than they currently are. This restless energy actually creates resistance in the manifestation process, like repeatedly pulling up a seedling to check its growth, which only delays its development. The pre-sleep state provides an ideal opportunity to release this counterproductive energy by surrendering to the natural rhythm of consciousness transitioning to sleep. Trust complements patience as the second essential quality for effective manifestation. The Pali term saddha, often translated as faith or confidence, describes this quality of trust based not on blind belief but on understanding principles and seeing initial results. As you develop your manifestation practice, this confidence grows through direct experience of how intentions set during the pre-sleep state gradually take form in your life. To cultivate trust before sleep, recall instances when previous intentions have manifested, even in small ways. This recollection builds neural pathways of confidence based on your direct experience rather than abstract belief. The Buddha encouraged this kind of empirical approach, inviting practitioners to test principles in their own experience rather than accepting them on authority alone. Trust also involves recognizing that manifestations often unfold through unexpected pathways. Before sleep, you might affirm, "I trust that universal wisdom may fulfill this intention in ways beyond my current understanding." This openness allows your manifestation to develop through optimal channels rather than being limited by your conscious mind's often narrow conception of how things should unfold. Many practitioners find that keeping a manifestation journal strengthens both patience and trust. By recording your intentions and then noting how they eventually manifest, sometimes in surprising ways or on different timelines than expected, you develop greater understanding of your personal manifestation patterns. This documented evidence helps counter the doubting mind that may arise during periods when manifestations seem delayed. The Buddha taught that certain mind states naturally support or hinder any spiritual practice, including manifestation. Cultivating the supportive states of patience and trust creates an inner environment where manifestation can develop optimally. Before sleep, you might briefly scan your mind to notice whether patience and trust are present, or whether anxiety and doubt are more prominent. This simple awareness allows you to consciously cultivate the supportive qualities before proceeding with specific manifestation techniques. Patience and trust work together with the understanding of emptiness we explored earlier. When you recognize that both you and your manifestations lack inherent fixed existence, patience comes more naturally. The rigid timeline for results that creates impatience arises from seeing yourself and your desires as solid, unchanging entities rather than as fluid processes unfolding in interdependence with countless conditions. The spacious awareness that emerges from emptiness practice naturally accommodates the sometimes mysterious timing of how intentions take form. For many practitioners, developing patience and trust represents the most challenging and ultimately rewarding aspect of manifestation practice. These qualities transform manifestation from a potentially stressful exercise in controlling outcomes to a peaceful collaboration with universal wisdom. The pre-sleep period offers a daily opportunity to practice surrendering control while maintaining clear intention, precisely the paradoxical combination that powerful manifestation requires. As you continue developing your pre-sleep manifestation practice, remember that patience and trust are muscles that strengthen with use. Some nights you'll find it easier to embody these qualities than others. Approach this variation with the same patience you're developing for your manifestations themselves. The Buddha emphasized that all spiritual qualities develop gradually through consistent practice rather than through force or urgent demand. Each time you choose patience over anxiety and trust over doubt, you strengthen inner resources that support not just effective manifestation, but genuine well-being in all aspects of life. The journey we've explored from understanding basic Buddhist concepts of intention to developing the profound qualities of patience and trust provides a comprehensive approach to pre-sleep manifestation. This practice, when engaged with sincerity and understanding, becomes far more than a technique for acquiring desired outcomes. It transforms into a spiritual path that aligns your deepest intentions with universal wisdom, creating benefits that extend beyond your individual life to touch countless others. As you drift towards sleep tonight, carry this knowledge with you, setting your intentions with clear awareness, compassionate heart, and patient trust in the perfect unfolding of all things.